What's supposed to be a kickoff for us just after 8 p.m. gets moved back now to a few minutes. 8:20 we're expecting. A challenge for both of these coaches to kind of manage the different schedule.
Yeah, it is to be able to overcome situations like this. These are coaches that are creatures of habit, man. They want to know. They get mad each week when we find out that 7 minutes past 8 o'clock when they kick off. So they're used to dealing with some delays. How can you get it? These are young kids. They're ready to go. They could play at 10 o'clock tonight, or they could play at 8:20. You know, it does mess up the pregame pattern a little bit for both teams, but it won't take long to adjust. As soon as it kick off, all that'll be history.
And of course, for the Gainesville Red Elephants, this is a team that has a dominant defense. Xavier Griffin is a linebacker. He's on his way to USC. This has been a fast rising prospect for the class of 2026, and what a name he is to know for Big Red.
Yeah, man, you look at this 6'4", 220 pounds. He had offers from Georgia, Alabama, Texas. Everybody goes on a trip out to California, and lo and behold, he likes and committed. So he's one of these guys, Brandon, you like because he can play on the edge. He can play inside. A lot of people think his future is inside linebacker on the next level. He's a three-down guy. He never has to leave the field. He can cover. He's physical in the box, and he can rush off the edge. He's definitely that new age linebacker.
Gainesville coach Josh Niblett told us this week this would be a game of matchups. So let's look at the front here. Obviously, we'll talk about the Westlake offensive line here in a moment, but Gainesville's also got some beef with its defensive front there as well. Julius Columbus up front for the Red Elephants, also another name to know.
You can always watch one of these games. You see a kid from like Duke or North Carolina somewhere making plays. You look him up, and he's from Georgia. Well, this is a prime example. One of those guys, they got to campus. He had offers from Georgia Southern, UTC, a few of those. Duke got him on campus and said, you know what? You can play for us. They want to play the long game. He's 6'2", 270 right now. 3 years from now, he might be 6'3", 305, and that's what they're banking on. But really good at the point of attack, tough interior kid. He's going to be a big piece of the puzzle tonight for Gainesville.
You look on the other side of the field for the Westlake Lions. It's a team that comes in 1-1. They lost to Langston Hughes in week 1. They said their word of the week. Morris Mitchell, the head coach, said it was redemption. They wanted that. Last week they got a win against Douglas. That's a team we saw in the Corky Kell Dave Hunter Classic. We were impressed with Douglas. Westlake's win against them was equally impressive. And for a lot of the folks who are reading you throughout the week, they're recruiting fans. And if you're a Georgia fan who follows recruiting, you certainly know the name of Juan Gaston, the giant offensive tackle here for the Lions.
I call these guys aliens. I don't have another word. He's 6'8", 370 pounds. When you see him, he is a 1 percentile type human. Big recruiting battle. Stacy Searles gets locked in here. I was here for the spring game. Mike Bobo, James Coley, Stacy Searles, they were standing right there the whole time watching him. They locked in on him. They get him in a huge win, kind of ironically, over Tennessee. They get him, Juan Gaston. So Georgia fans are tuning in tonight to watch Big Boy play.
Morris Mitchell, obviously the head coach of Westlake, kind of calls him a gentle giant, saying that's a guy that plays tough on the field, but obviously a true gentleman off the field. And one of the guys that he's blocking for that helps make this Lions offense go is Travis Smith Jr., wide receiver on his way to Tennessee. This is a guy who kind of exploded on the scene a year ago, big performance against North Cobb. He's been the rave on the recruiting scene since then, and a guy that Vols fans are tuned in to see tonight, but also just college and high school fans across the country. Anytime you get a chance to see an explosive offense like this.
I guarantee you the streams from Knoxville are large tonight to see Travis Smith Jr. play. This is a kid we covered for a full year now, kind of blew up on the scene, had a great junior year. Listen, they didn't win that game against Langston Hughes, but he had a monster game against some big-time talent. I guarantee you Gainesville's going to have to know where he is. Talking about ball skills, height, can go get it. You know, this is a guy that has been recruited by everybody. We talk about Georgia beating Tennessee for Juan Gaston. This is one where Tennessee got back and won this because Travis Smith had offers from all over the country, locked in on Josh Hype on those guys, and they got the verbal commit at him.
One of my favorite things about this game is the pedigree for success both these programs have. You know, Gainesville, one of the winningest programs in state history, and in the Josh Niblett era, they haven't slowed down at all. They were in the state championship game 2 years ago, lost to an outstanding Langston Hughes team. Surprised upset last year in the quarterfinals by Woodward Academy. That only makes them hungry for more. On the Westlake side, look at their history. It's 7 straight region titles from 2014 through 2020. They've averaged more than 9 wins over the course of the last 10 years, and obviously 11 straight postseason appearances. When you talk about two programs' history of winning, both these teams have that.
These are the two teams. When you look at the bracket and you say, I don't want to match up with them at any point. I don't want to play Westlake because they can beat anybody in the state, and you don't want to play Gainesville because they can beat anybody in their bracket. Two very, very tough outs with goals of winning the state championship.
You've heard me mention both coaches. Morris Mitchell in his first year here at Westlake. Obviously, Josh Niblett kind of continuing his career there at Gainesville. Speaking of both those gentlemen, our Kaylee Mansell is standing by with them right now.
Hello, all, and welcome to the coaches interview presented by Georgia Match. I'm Kaylee Mansell with the head coaches here, Josh Niblett of Gainesville and Morris Mitchell of Westlake. Coach Niblett, You're going to play 4 games on the road to start, 7 in total, but you knew that this summer. What does the prep work look like for that, having to play all these games on the road?
I think it's just going back to January all the way through. We put our kids on a bus as many times as we can, whether it's a shared experience or whether it's road trip in the spring for spring ball, whether it's fall camp, in the summer padded camps. We did them all on the road. We traveled to our middle school to practice on our middle school field, just to do anything we could to get our kids comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Coach Mitchell, lost game 1, but won game 2. What were the biggest improvements that you saw from your team from game 1 to game 2?
Really, it was just the physicality of our team. It was the intensity and the effort that we played with. I really saw our kids really dig into their bootstraps and really come out to try to win.
Coach Nibble, you've been just about everywhere, tons of different programs, but now that you've been at Gainesville for a little bit, what's so special about not just this team, but the Gainesville community as a whole?
I mean, it's just the community. I mean, it's the toughness within the community, the unity within the community. I mean, everybody loves our kids and wants to support our kids. And, all the games, whether they've been on the road or not, you'll see tonight we'll pack it out. I mean, because our people care about our kids, care about our program, and care about our community.
Coach Mitchell, we just saw AJ Terrell have his jersey retired right before this interview, a former Lion and a current Falcon. How do you explain to your players the importance of what they just saw on that field?
Really and truly, it's just a testament to AJ's hard work. It's a testament to who he was when he was here and to who he is now. And for us, it's about building the character of our young men to be able to get to where he is at that current moment.
Coach Mitchell, Coach Niblett, I just feel so lucky that we get to have y'all this early on. I can't wait to see what this game holds. But with that being said, we have kickoff coming up soon, so make sure to stay right where you're at.
Hey, is the power off on this?
I don't know. Just take it off. Safety violation. Unsafe work conditions.
In the construction trades unions, safety is our highest priority, and we train you to recognize and speak out on unsafe working conditions so that everyone arrives and goes home safely. Learn about careers in construction at GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com.
Beginning the morning you opened your eyes, we spent every waking moment preparing you for the day you'd leave our nest. Whether it's driving to practice or helping with homework, it's all prepared you for, what am I going to be when I grow up? Will you be ready?
After much thought, I made my decision to take my talents to the IBEW Local 613.
The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers is not simply a job, it's a career. Visit IBEW613.org to begin a new future today.
Basic combat training is a 10-week experience that will challenge you both physically and mentally. Each phase of your training will introduce you to new soldier skills, building and advancing them along the way. You and your fellow soldiers will work as a team to accomplish each mission, overcome each obstacle, and earn the right to wear the black beret of an Army National Guard soldier.
Great teams are committed, focused on the details, and work hard to be their best. From practice to games, right down to their gear. Your field is a critical part of the game that allows your athletes to showcase their athletic abilities. Sports Turf is committed to bringing your team innovative sports surfaces with unparalleled performance. You bring the vision. Our team brings it to life.
For a healthier future together, look to Northside Hospital.
The drive for the GHSA state title is presented by GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com. Transform your future today.
Welcome back, everybody. It's our drive for the GHSA state title presented by GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com. Brandon Adams, Rusty Mansell. If you're joining us waiting for opening kickoff, we're still a few minutes away on that. Bad storm rolls in early, creates havoc with Atlanta traffic. Accidents take place. Thankfully, neither of the two teams we're involved with here tonight, but that prevented Gainesville from arriving at the time they had planned on. So what was supposed to be a kickoff just after 8 p.m., now looking to kick off right there around 8:20. But we got a great one coming up for you between Westlake and Gainesville. And while I have a moment, let's also give you our game time weather here, brought to you by Personal Touch Lawn Care. 83 degrees, but a big storm kind of rolling through here just a little bit early.
Oh, it was nasty. I think Carrollton obviously is in the delay. It looks like some of the teams in North Georgia in the delay. So looks like we're going to be good to go. Brendan, let me ask you something. You said something to me off the air interesting. The travel logistics of this. Talk about what Josh Niblett talked to you in a meeting about how the planning went into this week, and they still had an issue.
Yeah, so one of the things that he said is, I asked him, how comfortable are you getting here in the state of Georgia after having been at Hoover for such a long time? He said, listen, there's still an acclimation process, even though we played a bunch of Georgia teams while I was at Hoover and played some of those games here in Georgia. He said one of the biggest things is you never quite get used to Atlanta traffic. Obviously, knowing they've got stadium renovations going on, knowing they'd be traveling a lot this year, and it's obviously customary at some point in time to maybe take a long trip during the state playoffs. He wanted practice with that, and in preparation for this game here this week, they were looking at the GPS and kind of scouting out the travel time here to Westlake on the other side of Atlanta from where Gainesville's traveling in northeast Georgia. Every single day, charting that time, kind of getting an approximation, trying to give themselves about 2 hours to be safe, and even that ended up not being enough today.
Yeah, I mean, you look at that weather is just another issue when it happens, but looks like we're good to go here in a few minutes. And this is, Brandon, this has been that game that you and I kind of circled. We started talking about football games in early August. I was like, Brandon, we got Westlake and Gainesville, and you kind of pepped up a little bit knowing this
Better
game.
believe that. And I'll tell you, too, the other thing is this is a Gainesville team that last week plays on the road in the state of Alabama. And I had a coach last year, and Rusty, I'm sure you've had coaches say very similar things. I had a coach last year say, I don't want any part of ever putting my kids in a hotel the night before a game. Some coaches do like that, some coaches don't. And I also asked Coach Niblett that this week. I said, what do you learn from your kids when you take an overnight trip like that? He said, listen, I want to see how they handle things away from the football
Correct.
field. You know, can you be professional in terms of how you show up, how you take care of your business? And so I got a great deal of confidence from Coach Niblett that his team handled that very well in Alabama last week, and they would handle this here too. So I think the rate at which they've kind of gotten ready to play this game after being a little late getting here, I think it speaks to that. And by the way, it's also a little bit of a challenge on the Westlake side too, because if you're Morris Mitchell, you know, the idea of your players waiting around.
Sitting around, yes.
Coaches typically don't like that either, do they?
No, Westlake got on the field. I timed it. They got on the field about 16 minutes earlier than Gainesville, and who knows what kind of advantage or disadvantage that is. But you're right. When you're the home team, you're not up and moving. You're kind of sitting around the locker room waiting. You're in a routine. You know when you got to hit the field. Next thing you know, you got a 30, 40-minute delay. But look, these are young kids. They're ready to play. We'll see how both teams adjusted. But like I said, we kick off here in a few minutes. All that'll be history.
I'll also tell you this, too. You know, in our open a moment ago, we highlighted a couple of names for Gainesville defensively, maybe among the more prominent college prospects in this game. And then we talked about a couple of names for Westlake offensively. If you flip the script here just for a moment, you know, we talked about Juan Gaston, and with good reason because of his size and just his overall level of dominance. But this is a Gainesville offensive line. You know, Alex Payne's a North Carolina commit. Tyler Ford's only a sophomore, but he may be as big a prospect, literally and figuratively, as anyone by the time his senior year arrives. That if you flip this around and say, what does Gainesville do offensively? It is a newish starting quarterback, first-year starter in Kareem Hughley, but they like their wide receiver depth a little bit like Westlake would say that it likes its.
Yeah, and I'll tell you this about Tyler Ford. I went down on the field as quick as I could. I wanted to see him in person. He's listed at 6'5", 320. He's every ounce of that. And this is a young man as a sophomore in the 2027 class. He has Georgia, Kentucky, Florida State, Auburn, among others, offers already.
I want to thank Deer Park for their support of Georgia high school football, and we obviously appreciate that. And as you take a look here, these are our, you know, kind of rankings, you know, based on kind of where we are after a couple of weeks here. We told you before, you know, Gainesville's obviously highly ranked here in the 5A classification, but when you look at 5A, you know, obviously we're thinking about that because of Gainesville's presence here. It is just as deep as 6A with three reigning state champs in the classification.
No doubt. When you look at those 10 right there in 5A, you look at those 10 in 6A, those teams could play each other, and we might go 5-5 against those games. I'm just telling you, it's really, really deep in those classifications. And I like how they kind of condense things. And I'll be honest with you, Brandon, when they did that condensed, 5A is the one like, holy smokes, when you saw it play out, and every classification's got some depth to it, But 5A right there, when you look at 5A, those are 10 teams that could potentially win the state championship.
These are rankings, obviously, from Score Atlanta, Douglas County, who you and I saw on television. And I'm telling you, on both sides of the ball, they were incredibly impressive. And I believe we got some good news for Douglas County.
You guys are on live
here there as
TV.
well. I believe James Johnson maybe just announced it.
And I think Xavier Griffin will be happy with that because he committed to USC today as well.
Did.
So it tells you look at USC and what they're doing, trying to recruit the state of Georgia and come across the country. Can they hold on to these kids and get them committed early? But got one from Douglas County today in the 2025 class, a young man that we're very impressed with. So big win for Lincoln Riley and his crew to start the weekend.
It is a big weekend for football here in the state of Georgia. Georgia Dome tomorrow for Georgia and
Mercedes-Benz.
Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
It might be the Georgia Dome if things go well.
Thank you very much on that. But we're also excited about high school football here tonight, and the time for talking is almost done. Gainesville traveling to Westlake. Our kickoff here in the Peachtree Sports Network comes up right after this.
I'm Judge Hatchett, and I am here to tell you that when tragedy strikes, you need our experienced law firm.
Hiring the wrong attorney can get you a lower settlement than you deserve, and that's a fact.
That's why you need the Lions of Stuart Miller Simmons trial attorneys on your case.
If you or a loved one has suffered a personal injury or wrongful death,
call us at 404 Law Firm or smstrial.com.
Ingalls, all the ingredients for family.
Any slow zipper knows you'll enjoy your drink from McDonald's longer than anyone else.
Now get any size soft drink or Southern-style sweet tea for just $1, only in the McDonald's app. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
The passion, the hustle, the grit. It all goes down on Peachtree TV, where the Atlanta Dream becomes the LA Sparks' worst nightmare. Dream Sparks. Sunday at 7 on Peachtree TV.
Welcome back, everybody. Kickoff between Westlake and Gainesville coming up in a moment. Let me also remind you, next week, big new opportunity for you to catch up on all the latest high school sports here on the Peachtree Sports Network. You can tune into the Peachtree Sports Network at noon on September 3rd for the inaugural episode of Georgia High School Sports Daily, a new show televised out of the Score Atlanta television studios for the latest news and stories on everything Georgia high school sports. Live Monday through Friday starting at noon on the Peachtree Sports Network. Available digitally on Atlanta News First. And obviously our coin toss here brought to you by our good friends at R.S. Andrews. You see Westlake in their royal blue and white. Gainesville not going customary white helmets tonight. They got the black helmets on with the G.
All times, all right?
Let's listen in. Little handshake there, and now the rest of the Lions will make their way onto the field, running through a beautiful inflated lion.
Yeah, I like that. I hadn't seen that one yet.
The Lions logo in part borrows from the Detroit line, not quite an aloha blue for Westlake, but a very similar drawn figure of the lion. And as we said a moment ago, this is a team that sort of feels like it's got a little redemption in mind. They've talked about the idea of redemption a lot. Did not feel like they played well in their week 1 loss to Langston Hughes. Much better last week, and a win, albeit against a lower classification team in Douglas. And now hungry in front of their own fans in kind of what they believe is going to be a hostile environment for Gainesville tonight to obviously take down one of the biggest programs currently in the state.
A lot of pride here at Westlake. They retired AJ Terrell's jersey tonight. You know they want to play well in front of him. A lot of alumni here, a lot of buzz, a lot of pride at Westlake. And to take that loss the way they did, opening game to Langston Hughes, I know that didn't set well. But I'll be honest with you, Brandon, we were really impressed with Douglas Atlanta last year. They got after them pretty good. So we'll see tonight, because the opponent on the other side, Gainesville, is well coached. They are athletic, and they are a threat to beat anybody every Friday night.
You see Morris Mitchell there, the first-year head coach. That's the guy who coached Avian Terrell, the brother of, obviously, AJ Terrell, when he was defensive coordinator here. Terrell, the younger, now at Clemson, obviously a starting cornerback there tomorrow in Mercedes-Benz Stadium for Georgia and Clemson there kicking off at noon. But tonight we got high school football kicking off. We've obviously been with you the last couple of weeks, but this is the first of our drive for the GHSA state title broadcast here this year. You see Francisco Johnson there for Gainesville. He is set to kick it off, and with that, we are underway from Westlake High School tonight. Ball going to bounce and roll into the end zone for a touchback, and that's going to put Westlake on offense to begin. And our first look coming up here at the senior quarterback, Sean Smith, a guy who has matured a lot as he's grown into the role of starter here for the Lions. Of course, we'll see him and the rest of the names to know for Westlake here. Obviously, Travis Smith Jr., that's a name you know as the wide receiver. But if you talk to this Gainesville coaching staff, the other receiver who wears number 11, Deion Thomas, they say he's almost equally dangerous.
Got Georgia, Georgia Tech, Alabama, Arkansas. He's got offers as well. So both of these wide receivers, Power 4 kids, and Travis Smith Jr. already committed to Tennessee in the 2025 class.
You've also got two college-level running backs, Juan Gaston there along the offensive line. It's a throw and catch here on first down. Complete there near the 25-yard line. That's Brandon Lallis who gets involved with that catch. And for Gainesville defensively, Caden Fossing's been here for a while.
Yes.
That's a veteran player. Julius Columbus, we told you about him. Defensive lineman, the do commit. Probably not as deep overall for Gainesville on the defensive line here this year. Xavier Griffin, the junior, going to USC. Cash O'Callahan, another linebacker. He's a 3-year starter. And Josh Newlett feels like he's got a lot of depth in his secondary there as well. Carry on second down going the way of Naeem Odini. And he gets involved here, and it's going to bring up third down.
Bossing's a kid that we saw. Remember Gainesville? We saw him as a freshman in the playoffs. They had some injuries as that rusty. We got to play this kid. Well, he wasn't ready to play, but now he is. 6'3", 205 pounds. Got offers from UAB, Duke, Georgia State, and Central Florida. Number 92. He's a name to know in the 2026 class. You see him lined up there at the bottom on Juan Gadsden, the Georgia commit.
Odini's carry makes it 3rd and 1. Right back at it. Here goes Westlake again, moving the chains and getting a fresh set of downs here.
Yeah, go right behind Big Gaston right there. Need a 3rd and 1, and not going to really sugarcoat it. You got a guy that's 6'7", 370 pounds. You're going right behind him.
Odini was the guy that carried the football again. We'll see a couple of running backs tonight for Westlake, including Tamir Bransford, who's a Georgia State commit. And first down now for Westlake. Breda Pest Management score ticker rolls all night long. Smith will try to throw, but he's going to go down, and he's going to be sacked. Gainesville there to wrap him up.
Brandon Bailey, I believe, 97, wins his one-on-one and gets pressure, and they're going to have Westlake way behind the chains. Just holds on to it a little bit long. I don't believe that. I believe it was 10. Yes, they had a linebacker late blitz. Elijah Watson comes in from his safety defensive back position.
5'10", 150-pound junior gets in and gets that sack, and that's going to back Westlake up. This is not where they want to be. Long field here. Going to run the football again and find some room. Positive yardage now. To make third down a lot more manageable. Probably got about 12 that time on that carry was Odini.
Man, you talk about go behind the chains. They come right back with a little inside zone, body on body. You see Gaston just swallow up Xavier Griffin right there, the USC commit. You cannot allow Gaston to get on you on the second level. I don't care how good you are, because Griffin is a special player. But right there, Gaston swallowed him up and opened up the big lane.
Ball sits at the 47, needs the 49 for a first. It's Odini again. He's got some shiftiness, man.
Great run right there.
You know, Morris Mitchell says this is a special kid. He said if I had to build a team with nothing but Naeem Odini's, that's exactly what I would want to do, and you kind of see why there.
Look at this jump cut right here. Just moving around his blockers. Patient. Easy conversion. They were second 16 there, Brandon, converted.
Linebacker Darren Williams in on the stop for Gainesville. You'll see big 73 on the left side of this offense for Westlake. That's Gaston, the Georgia commit. And you never get used to seeing that size. Odini again into Red Elephant territory to the 45-yard line. Pickup of about 8 more for Odini, and what a start for him. Right now it's Westlake winning the battle up front.
Kind of looks like Westlake says, listen, we're going to come right down your throat. We're going to man up on you and see if you can handle the box, because we're going to play this game in a phone booth at this point.
Travis Smith, the Tennessee commits, lined up left side of the formation all the way over near the boundary, right at the.
See if they take a shot right here, 2nd and 2.
They're going to look left, now come back, throw right into traffic, and it's almost intercepted.
Griffin.
Yeah, Xavier Griffin, the USC commit, almost stepped in front of that football.
Great job reading the eyes. The quarterback has to throw off his back leg, and Griffin just steps right in front of that route, reading the quarterback's eyes, gets to the location, and almost makes an interception. Using that length, look how long his arms, man. 6'4", edge, inside linebacker, USC commit.
You see Gaston there as well, 6'7", 360. And trying to get a good block here for Odini. Odini, though, going to be stopped short, and that's going to bring up 4th down. He didn't get anything. If anything, he lost a little bit.
That's a good job there by Gainesville on those 2 downs.
So now it's decision time here on 4th down, and it looks like Westlake's not going to think about it very much. They're going to punt and back up quarterback Sean Smith to do it. For Gainesville, back deep to receive will be Landon Williamson. Excuse me, Phillip Williams, I mean to say. Westlake not in a hurry. Williams has had a big punt return already for Gainesville this year, but he'll need a fair catch this one, and in kind of an enemy territory type situation, not a ton of room, but he hauls it in. So the Red Elephants bend, do not break, and get the football here on the road. We are just underway on Peachtree Sports Network.
A journeyman with Local 85, when you turn out, you can be hitting 6 figures.
Hey, I have your back, you have my back. We're going to do this together. We're one for all for one.
College just wasn't for me. Let's look into actual career jobs that wouldn't take college, where I wouldn't, lose money and all that. Instead of losing a lot more money at the end, why not make money and make more money at the end?
Are you interested in becoming a deputy or a jailer? The Gwinnett County Sheriff's Office is hiring and looking for individuals passionate about protecting and serving their community. If you are 18 years or older, join our team by visiting GoGCSO.com for more information. Gwinnett County, together, we can make a difference.
Nobody wants to hear the word roaches, because who wants to admit they have roaches?
I actually found some weird roaches. I didn't know what they were. I decided to choose Breda. I reached out to them. They check in routinely. They're explaining what they're doing, so there's a lot of clarity in the process as well. I think that just speaks to the level of safety that I feel with the organization.
The facts are, roaches are everywhere in our environment, so what are you doing to keep them out of your home?
Breda, Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
Struggling with food insecurity can feel lonely, yet every community across America is affected by hunger, which is why our Kroger associates work together to rescue nutritious food that would otherwise go to waste in an effort to donate 3 billion meals by 2025. Because we believe everyone should have access to fresh, delicious food. Join the Kroger Zero Hunger, Zero Waste Foundation to defeat hunger and eliminate food waste.
I've used R.S. Andrews 15 years, purchased 2 heating and air systems, so I rely on their technicians for service. I call, they come, it's fixed. And I appreciate Andrews' commitment. He gives it his all. That's how R.S. Andrews makes me smile.
Yikey wawa! Running out of hot water is one way your water heater cries out for help. Call R.S. Andrews. Get a water heater rejuvenation. Your water heater gets added life, you get more hot water. Another way R.S. Andrews makes you smile today.
The GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com Drive for the GHSA state title is sponsored by the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 613. Electrify your career. The Gwinnett County Sheriff's Office. Serve and protect through dedication, professionalism, and active cooperation with the community. Kroger. Boost by Kroger Plus. More savings, more benefits, a new level of membership. Gatorade, fuel tomorrow. And by Score Atlanta, your source for Georgia high school sports.
We are back, everybody. Still early on here, first quarter. In fact, Gainesville getting its first offensive possession after getting off the field, forcing a Westlake punt a moment ago. Our first chance to see Kareem Hughley in what is his first year starting as the quarterback for Gainesville. We'll show you the rest of the Red Elephant starters on offense here in just a moment. But Hughley going to throw it on first down, trying to connect with Jeremiah Ware, the Georgia Southern commit. But that on the RPO was incomplete. Hughley, just a sophomore, but a guy who's been in the Gainesville program. Carmelo Bird, the running back, has had 100-yard games in each of the Red Elephants' first 2 games of the year. And they like their wide receivers. Ware, who you just saw, Taz Smith, a recent transfer, Shane King, big target, he's 6'3". And the offensive line, Alex Payne, Will Turner, they're the 2 returning starters. And as you said earlier, Rusty, Tyler Ford, that's going to be a name a lot of folks are paying attention to over the course of the next couple of years. They're the right tackle.
Love Alex Payne, too. He had him play in the Georgia Elite Classic 2 years in a row. And I think, man, his frame, he had it early on. Now he put the weight on, and North Carolina came in and got him.
So it's Hughley from the shotgun on second down, little orbit motion, but it's actually a running play up the middle. And Westlake was right there to snuff that out right away. And now it's going to be 3rd and long here for Gainesville. Sebastian Wimbush, the linebacker, among those in on that stop. That's a senior. For Westlake defensively, keep your eye on Siku Peters wearing number 9. That's a guy who's kind of coming into his own as a little bit of a college prospect here right now. And obviously a lot to like about this defensive secondary. Jaden Delapierre has an interception last week in his first game starting at the cornerback spot. So Morris Mitchell, who knows this defense because his time as the Lions defensive coordinator, he likes his guys on that side.
Yep. Always speed and physical. You can count on that at Westlake. Sometimes bigger than others, but two consistents is speed and physicality from this Westlake team always.
3rd down, Hughley going to throw, trying to make something happen here. Now he's going to crank it up and throw it deep. He's got a guy, and it's caught midfield. It's Jeremiah Ware into Lions territory.
What a play by Hughley here to keep his eyes down. Look, he has to break the pocket, but he does not panic. He's directing traffic, keeps his eyes down the field, knows he's about to take a shot. And Brandon, he delivered a perfect ball to get out of that. That would have been 3rd. That would have been 4th down easily with a sack.
A lot of arm strength from a guy who was not on balance as he was throwing that. I'll be honest with you, that's more from Hughley's arm than I maybe expected to see from him. Very impressive on that throw.
He was going to take a shot, too. They got out and up. They got him.
Going to throw again. Open again. And it's going to be a touchdown. Taz Smith there to bring it in. The senior gets the Red Elephants on the board.
Man, they go out and up, and that defensive back bid on that out route. He pump faked him, and I saw it from a mile away. Watch him give this little shoulder right here. And he is wide open. Defensive back had his eyes in the backfield.
Our electrifying play of the half presented by England and Stubbs. 40 yards on the touchdown throw and catch to Taz Smith. I'm telling you right now, we talked about this a little bit last week with the transfer wide receiver to Mill Creek. They didn't feel like everybody knew. We talked to Josh Niblett this week. He doesn't feel like people realize how good of a receiver Taz Smith is, who completely got behind the defense on that touchdown.
Yeah, man. You look at him in a game like this, Brandon, we've seen it, a long time. A game like this against an opponent like this, this is really good tape.
Let's see our resume for Gainesville, brought to you by Smart Local 85. This one of the winningest programs in state history. Niblett has not slowed that down. Kind of really returning Gainesville to a former glory here, 28-2. Obviously 2-0 thus far this season. Upset last year, to be honest. Woodward Academy beating them was a big upset. In the state championship game prior to that. Obviously, when you think about players who've come through here in recent years, it's Deshaun Watson. Folks know him. Clemson and Atlanta tomorrow. Blake Sims, who became a starting quarterback for an Alabama playoff team in 2014. You talk about Taylor Jones.
Yeah, man.
But you can go back throughout the years there as well, whether it be, Billy the Kid Lothridge, who went on to fame at Georgia Tech.
A.J. Johnson.
A.J. Johnson went to Tennessee, obviously. Just throughout the eras, a lot of great players have come through this Gainesville program. Of course, Westlake knows a thing or two about that as well. as you see Bryce Branch back to return this kick. Johnson sends it away. It will be returnable from inside the 5. Here comes Branch across the 15, not quite getting it back to the 20.
Going back to that state championship his first year, you kind of think they were so far ahead of the schedule. They get in there, play a team like Langston Hughes. They gave it all they had. So you see that and you're thinking, well, they went to state championship year 1. This got to beat state championship year 2. Kind of had an upset. Year 3, got his players. He's got his system in, got some guys. This is a team right here that is a threat to play Game 15 in Mercedes-Benz.
Because if you want to go back to the 2022 season, losing to Langston Hughes is not a data point.
Oh, my goodness.
No one was going to beat Langston Hughes.
Maybe the best team in any classification that year.
Yeah, telling me you lost to Langston Hughes doesn't tell me anything because they were going to beat everyone. Here's going to be a throw from Smith. He's going to try to get Travis Smith into traffic. And it's incomplete. Now a flag comes in.
Yep.
Watson and Jones, Elijah Watson, the junior cornerback, senior safety Trent Jones, they kind of had Travis Smith bracketed there. Smith still had a chance to get it, but they're going to say too much contact.
Ball was underthrown.
Pass interference, defense, 15-yard penalty.
You see our officials brought to you by the Governor's Office of Highway Safety, including Emmanuel Solomon, the referee who you just heard from, Dwight Thomas, Randy Dickerson, Brandon Arnold, Anthony Shepard, all a part of the folks helping keep the peace here tonight.
Travis Smith had that defensive back stacked. He had him on top. He was open. Ball was underthrown a little bit. He had to come back for the ball, and that's a tough play if you're a defensive back trying to defend that. You see a lot of pass interference calls on that on an underthrown ball.
Ball sits at the 34. Going to be another pass. This one complete to Lallis. Second catch of the game for him. And he's up to around the 43, a pickup of about 9 for Lallis there.
Great crowd for Gainesville and Westlake, both teams.
It's a good atmosphere, Virginia. Yep. Ball now sits at the 43. So they really give him about 8 that time. So Westlake tried to get. Actually, I'm not sure what happened there on that. Kind of a
false start, offense, 5-yard.
Whatever that was supposed to be, it's going to be a false start on Westlake, and it's going to back them up 5 yards.
Couldn't see the formation, but, man, you had it 2nd and 1 right there, and you get a penalty.
I think they were they going to put Odini in the so Odini was actually lining up as a wildcat there. That's what they were trying to do, catch Gainesville napping, and they did not. Now Sean Smith comes back in at quarterback. He'll hand Odini traditionally, and he's going to be wrapped up and brought down there. Xavier Griffin just flies into the backfield and makes a beautiful tackle.
Yeah, man, that's a rough penalty when you're 2nd and 1. Now you're 3rd and 7. Last time they ran the ball 2 plays behind the chains. Let's see what they do right here. If they get the let's see if they roll the quarterback out a little bit. You got number 10 and number 11 at wide receiver. I got to give one of those guys a shot.
Gainesville showing pressure here. It's a low snap for Smith. He's got time, though. Throwing towards the sideline. Travis Smith will catch it there. It's going to be a first down there at the 49-yard line.
Easy throw and catch for him, man. Watch him get in and out of his break right here at the bottom of the screen. Good job. Smith knows where he's going the entire time. Good route. They've done that a million times. That's what I said. You got 10, you got to give 10 some shots.
Quarterbacks look pretty confident when they get a chance to throw to him,
no doubt, man. I mean, they're going to play him man-to-man right now, it looks like.
Yeah.
Got a jump from
Gainesville
Westlake.
Does the shift with the defensive lineman. It's kind of popularized by Georgia.
False start, offense, 5-yard, replay 2nd.
That kind of caught Westlake the same way we see Georgia catch folks with that almost every week.
Call it that stem, and you move, and man, it drives offense. It's crazy that Georgia does that. People have seen that now for a while, but it's just irritating, I would imagine, facing Georgia because you have to practice for that all week.
Well, you're also, I mean, I was not a lineman like this, but it certainly feels like I would be very tempted to want to do that too because you're trying to get off.
Yes.
It's now 1st and 15 after the penalty. First time in the football game to see Tamir Bransford. That's a running back who's committed to Dell McGee in Georgia State, and he's getting his first carry of the game with 4:28 in the first quarter to give you an idea of the talent level for Westlake.
Watch Big Juan Gass here. They run the guard tackle counter, C54 and 73. Unfortunately, 73 gets on this defensive back, a high school average guy, and that's not going to end well. But the typical counter. And interesting there, they got some yards, but still going to bring up second and probably about 10.5.
Looked like Gassman's moving pretty well.
Oh, yeah, he's an athletic guy. It's crazy how big he is.
That's the hand to Bransford again. He's the guy on this possession into Gainesville territory at the 47.
Yeah, I think Westlake is doing two things. They think they can handle the line of scrimmage, and number two, they take that high-powered Gainesville offense off the field. If you can drive this ball and establish that, you keep that defense. I think they like their matchup versus a smaller front from Gainesville because they are sticking with this run game. And I want to see if they go back here to 10. I'm going to tell you, now, number 11's got a good matchup at the top of the field, top of the screen there for Westlake. You start looking at Deion Thomas, 6'3" guy, and the corner it's on him right now is probably 5'9" on a good day. See if they take a shot.
Yeah, so that'll be the battle here. Two big receivers kind of bracketing both sides of this Westlake formation. It's Smith looking right now, throwing, and it's almost intercepted. Trent Jones, the safety, was almost there. Whatever Smith thought he was rolling to, there were nothing but red elephants over there.
They had two wide receivers run into each other. Watch this at the top. You can't see the top. They were trying to go to Thomas. He runs into the guy underneath him, and that's what caused him to have – he thought he was going to throw it away. Almost came away with an interception.
So this is one of those deals where Westlake still hasn't scored, but if I am Westlake, I like the fact that I'm getting rushing yards, and that's the play with a soft defense that you sort of strike big. It doesn't work out, but if you're Westlake, even though you haven't been on the board yet, you like some of what you're doing offensively.
Yeah, you've seen some momentum, especially in the run game. They've had a penalty. A couple penalties have put them behind the chains, and they're coming after it.
Smith will punt again. Philip Williams will call the fair catch, and that'll put Gainesville back on offense, leading by a touchdown. We'll take a quick timeout. We'll come back and show you that right after this.
It's hot at Matthews Kia of Cartersville, so we are having a hot sales event. We have great selections of 2024 and 2025 new vehicles. Lease the 2025 Kia Carnival LX $429 for 24 months, the 2024 Kia Sportage LX $289 for 24 months, or the 2024 Kia Telluride S just $379 for 24 months. Hurry, because prices are in your favor right now. Don't forget, Matthews Kia of Cartersville is home to the lifetime warranty. Come see us today. All roads lead to Matthews Kia of Cartersville.
Sometimes it's the little victories that mean the most. Those everyday celebrations that bring a smile to our faces and joy to our hearts. At Ingalls, we know there's no one you'd rather share those miniature, memorable moments with than family. Ingalls, all the ingredients for family.
Any slow sipper knows you'll enjoy your drink from McDonald's longer than anyone else.
Now get any size soft drink or Southern style sweet tea for just $1, only in the McDonald's app. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Here's to the legends of the game who paved the way for the stars of today.
Get out of his way!
Origin Sports showcases sports history that is as relevant today as it was in past. Origin Sports, run it back.
Before we get back to live action, let's also take a moment to celebrate our Teams of the Week, brought to you by Deer Park. Congratulations to Dodge County representing 1A, East Jackson representing 2A, Pickens County representing 3A, Madison County representing 4A out of Danielsville, Clark Central representing 5A, and East Coweta representing 6A. Our Teams of the Week, presented by Deer Park. Of course, Gainesville and Westlake, two teams always candidates for honors such as that. Red Elephants lead by a touchdown. Hughley back to work here. Jeremiah Ware catches the ball, finds the sideline, and then knocked out of bounds. First down yardage for him there at the 34-yard line.
See what kind of adjustments they make here. Really didn't have a bad series up until that last play with a kind of a busted coverage.
They say he's out of bounds at the 31. That's where Gainesville goes back to work, and that's where Carmelo Bird gets back at it on the ground. Bird's a former linebacker.
Yeah, moved over, right?
Moves over. Josh Niblett says he's a true third down back in that he can get yards after contact. He can do explosive runs. And as I mentioned earlier, he's been a 100-yard rusher in both of Gainesville's first 2 games of the season. Trips stacked on the right side here. Pressure coming from Westlake. Hughley will throw quick. That's Shane King. King to the 38.
Good job.
Bring up third down.
Good job tackling in space. Bring up about 3rd and 4.
We'll see King here again. He's a big target. 6'3", 210 pounds. You love that size.
It's a good open field tackle. Wait on these guys to get there and get that defender for Westlake. A nice tackle, one-on-one. See if they bring a blitz here. They're showing it.
Yeah, Gainesville comes quick to the line. Westlake is showing pressure. Hughley going to try the other side here. That's a throw and catch. First down yardage and more going Taz Smith. Smith already got a touchdown, and he's got Gainesville in business here once again, converting on third down.
I can tell already he gets to 5th year quick.
Yep.
See how quick he got north and south? 4th and 3. Throw it to him in space and let him get the rest. Good bounce there.
Another pretty good tackle there. Is that Travis Smith and on defense? Getting a little action on defense.
It's go time tonight, yeah. They'll run him in there at safety. They're running Deion Thomas a little bit, believe at corner as well.
We may see Juan Gaston also play on the defensive line,
They're going to limit big boy snaps, but you'll see him, I would imagine, in short yardage.
A little bit maybe how Daniel Calhoun was somewhat used.
Yep, nose guard.
Last year.
Good point there.
For Walton, obviously also now at Georgia. You see the tight end Landon Williamson going in motion. He'll become kind of a sniffer there on the right side. Hughley going to set up and throw wide open. That was Jeremiah Ware, and that's a timing thing, just didn't quite connect. But Ware will never be more open than he just was.
I tell you what, I don't know what Josh Niblett's saying in that headphone right now, but they just missed 6, and it was wide open. They don't get any more open than that in this level of high school football. Obviously some confusion there. Who had the middle of the field, because he comes right up the seam wide open.
Blessed Trinity and Prince Avenue's a fun game tonight.
That's a fantastic game. I got to give a quick shout out, man. Really good friend of mine, Brandon Talbert. You know him, University of Georgia. His son's back, been missed about a year. Came back tonight, had an interception already and a fumble recovery.
Good for him. That's awesome to hear. On third down, Hughley will throw. Open again. Still on his feet. Running inside the 30, inside the 20, down the sideline, into the end zone for a touchdown goes Shane King. On third down. You see the scoring recap brought to you by Breda Pest Management. King catches it middle of the field, gives you a big stiff arm right there.
Man, 2 of them. I counted 4 broken tackles right there by the big man.
Well, let me ask you this. I know you love contact balance for your running backs. Can a wide receiver have it? Because I believe King had it that time.
I'm telling you, it's early night we're using that. But that's contact stiffness with that arm. I can tell you that. Great job. Look at the length on him. I tell you what I like most importantly out of that. He started and stopped and was able to outrun the defense. He was at a dead stop when he caught it. Catches the ball, reverses field, and turns the corner and holds off defenders to score.
He told us, Josh Niblett, they love their talent at wide receiver. We've seen at least 3 make big plays here tonight. Let's also see the Gainesville schedule here, brought to you by the Georgia Sheet Metal and Air Conditioning Contractors Association. By the way, Seconder coming up on October 4th. Big win for Seconder last week. Probably the biggest upset of their school's existence last Friday. We'll give a shout out to them. And you see Gainesville on the road, 4 straight games to begin the season. Their first home game of the year will be a region game against Lanier. And by the way, that's a Lanier team who was in the second round of the state playoffs a year ago. So along with Roswell and Milton, another really good team along with Gainesville here in this region. But obviously City Park, Bobby Gruen Field, about to go through a major renovation to be unveiled on September the 20th. Room to run on the return. Maybe got back to the 20 that time was Bryce Branch.
Got a late flag here between 2 guys, and I'm not sure if they got the Gainesville defender. They always get the second guy on something like this. And I'll go ahead and announce it. We have Gainesville at Milton later in the year.
What a game. I mean,
I might be there Thursday.
I mean, listen, I tell you, you and I.J. Rosenberg, all the folks at Score Atlanta, the job y'all have done in booking our games here this year, you know how happy it makes me.
I will say this, too. Yeah, I believe they got him late face mask, man.
And one of the things you sort of see from Gainesville is because they have athletes, they've only gotten one touchback on kickoffs tonight. The other 2 kicks have been fielded inside the 5. But they do get down on coverage so quick, they have a great chance of making a tackle inside the 20. Now, that time it resulted in a penalty. But you see sort of an interesting strategy. They trust their athletes to go make a tackle on a kick that's fielded inside the 5. Back on offense again goes Sean Smith. That's a handoff to Odini. Odini tries to spin his way up to the 39. By the way, stick with us here. At the end of the quarter, special guest going to join us. Our Kaylee Manziel will get a chance to talk to AJ Terrell.
Oh, man.
Newly re-signed member of the Atlanta Falcons, and also a young man who had his jersey retired tonight from his alma mater, Westlake High School, in a ceremony that I thought was really well done before the game began here tonight.
I ran a camp one year, an MVP camp right here, and I had Andrew Thomas and AJ Terrell both got awards that day. I think those guys turned out pretty good.
How about that? If only you got a percentage.
Oh, man, if I could just have an ounce of what those 2 made.
That's a couple 9-figure guys when it's all said and done, perhaps. Smith going to hand it again. This may end up being the last play of the quarter as Brandon Bailey, one of the guys in on that stop for Gainesville. And for now, anyway, Westlake not quite have as much success on running the football during this series as it has earlier. But we got second quarter action coming up here in a moment. But as promised, as our first quarter comes to an end, our Kaylee Manziel standing by with a beloved member of the Atlanta Falcons and the Westlake Lions. Kaylee, go ahead and take it away.
I mean, what an honor it is to be standing here with AJ Terrell, who just had his jersey retired here tonight. You've been through high school football, college football, now you're playing in the pros, and you've been rewarded for it. How did it feel to have your number retired tonight?
First of all, we got to thank the Most High, but it's a lot of work put in, a lot of hours, and just the grind. I didn't, skip no steps, and I'm just honored and thankful that I'm, being recognized for something that I had a lot of dedication to, a lot of commitment and sacrifice to, and just being able to reap the benefits of it is special.
And from what I've heard, you're really big about giving back to your community.
Yeah.
In what ways are you involved with the community now still?
Yeah, a lot of camps, trying to bring the youth out. Back in my city, that did a camp first in Lakewood. Then I had one down in Midtown High School. And, it's just getting started, just getting my feet wet in that aspect. But then also just trying to get back in the community through high schools, public high schools down south and on the Fulton side, and trying to grow all the way around networking. But any events with the Falcons as well, I'm always hands-on, trying to free up my schedule to, be involved with things like that as well.
I can only imagine that you're a role model to the guys out there on the field now. If you could give them any one piece of advice, whether it be about their career or about their lives, what would it be?
To run their own race. I feel like that's the main thing, not comparing yourself to the next guy. I think we get lost trying to put your success on other people's, when you see your friends or your mates trying to reach different goals and you trying to compare yourself with them and you not seeing the field or not getting whatever you desire to get as fast as them, just run your own race. It still can happen. Just got to respect the grind, keep believing in God and just trusting the process. Just keep doing right and just get 1% better.
Well, the talent that you have on the field is evident, but I think we can see even now that you're a great person. Thanks for coming on. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, with that, the second quarter is about to start, so let's give it back to Brandon and Rusty.
Kaylee, great job. AJ Terrell, great to hear from him there as well. And obviously he's hoping to see his Lions team convert here on a third down. To begin the second quarter, Smith will look to throw. He's got Travis Smith. Beautiful catch by Smith. Inside the 40-yard line of the Red Elephants. Out of bounds around the 37. And here comes Westlake, and the Tennessee commit comes up big.
Watch him snag this ball out of the air. You talking about going to get it with some mitts. Watch him reach for this ball. Watch him grab this. I'm telling you, they're going to have to stop 10 if they're going to beat me. You're going to have to get him some touches. He's special.
Perhaps ready to open things up here. Smith surveys the situation. Going to hand off to Odini. Odini trying to dance his way to the 35, inside the 35, so pretty good carry on first down for Odini.
You kind of figure, Brandon, Gainesville understands the game plan now. Do they have extra guys in the box, which makes you go more one-on-one out here on the edge with Deion Thomas and Travis Smith Jr.? Can these guys get some matchups? I love what I see right now at the bottom of the screen. You see Deion Thomas, 6'4". You see them bringing him in. Are they going to flip-flop a package here?
Yeah, that's number 11, Deion Thomas.
He's a 2026 wide receiver.
That Rusty, you know, he's going to move over, be on the left side of the formation with Smith. Also, if you want to see kind of game within the game stuff, let's watch some of those Gainesville safeties like Trent Jones. We've seen him make a couple of plays tonight. Jamarcus Sims. Let's watch.
They got him again.
Yeah, they did. They did. That has been a problem for Westlake tonight. But watching where those safeties line up kind of gives you an idea of what Gainesville's thinking defensively.
False start. Offense. 5 yards.
Drives a head coach crazy.
Replay second down.
Because you know
that
they prepared for that all week. And that's twice they've got them in the first half.
As I told you earlier, I'm surprised it doesn't happen on.
No kidding.
So the good gain on first down going to be waved off. Coming back here, now you're going to get a chance to see Thomas get the jet sweep carry. He picked up a lot of that penalty yardage and more, going out of bounds near the 30-yard line. So a pickup of about 12 for him.
And they had him in the backfield, Brand. They had him for a loss. Watch how strong he is to run through this tackle. One arm tackle he breaks. Two, what's this? Runs through both of those and gets north and south. I'm telling you, he is a big, underrated athlete in the 2026 class. I came down with the spring game, and I was like, Coach, who is that? And they go, Rusty, that's the next one. And when a coach at Westlake says that's the next one, you know that's the next one.
You'll see Smith now looking at the situation. Gainesville showing pressure. A lot of guys up near the line of scrimmage. Odini going to try to carry it. He's going to be wrapped up, though. Another nice tackle by Elijah Watson, I think.
Got to think they're going for it here. It's going to be close on the chains. Tried to run behind Big Gaston right there. Just couldn't get north and south quick enough, but it's going to wind up being this third. They're going to move the chains. Resetting. Now it's third down. Okay.
Yeah.
The official saying they got a first down. Gave it to him. And that was a second effort thing. I kept seeing the pile move. Obviously, they didn't call him down. Tough yardage there to move the chains.
A couple of receivers stacked right side. Odini gets the carry. He's kind of found his spark a little bit again. He's down to about the 21. He may have gotten 6 or 7 on that.
Got a player down right now for Gainesville on the field. Let me say this before we get to this young man. That's what I love in a running back, is the ability to make it 2nd and 4 instead of 2nd and 7. You sure everybody wants to talk about the 40s and how fast is he? Can he make it 2nd and 4? And you see this running back from Westlake running in tight area and being shifty and able to do that. I'm not sure who went down. It looks like a defensive lineman.
Yeah, I can't see right now. It is our injury report, though, brought to you by Northside Hospital. As you see the Gainesville training staff coming out, unfortunately, as they're giving the medical care, completely flanking. Now you get a look at the number there, and that's a guy that's been in on a lot of plays so far today. That's Brandon Bailey, the 6-foot senior defensive lineman walking off here. The good news is he appears to be walking off, even almost like a full speed gait. So perhaps not too worse for the wear there. Maybe shaken up a little bit, but does not seem to be walking with a whole lot of restriction.
That's good to see right there. I want to say just a special shout out to Max Johnson. Got hurt last night. Young man we covered at Oconee County. Season-ending injury. Quarterback in North Carolina. Broke his leg. Had surgery today. Going to be out the season. We'll be back next year. Thoughts are with him and his family. Someone that we know well. Brad Johnson and his family. Good luck to you, Max.
Smith going to throw. Caught there by Travis Smith. And Smith was corralled that time. Secondary for Gainesville all over that. Watson among those there to wrap him up. Good job of keeping Travis Smith contained.
Smaller defensive back. You see right there, they're smaller, but you know what? They held on long enough for help to get there, and that's how you tackle somebody like that.
Josh Niblett says he doesn't really feel like people know their defensive backs yet, that he has probably as much depth in the secondary as anywhere, although maybe not famous yet to guys like you and me. We get a look there at Josh Niblett. Handoff going the way of Odini again. Near a first down. We'll see where his forward progress is going to stop him.
Got a chance. a couple years ago, they opened up into Corky-Kell. So I got a chance to go over to Hoover and watch them, spend some time with Coach Niblett, spend some time with him watching tape. And listen, that's who he is, man. He is a football coach. He is wired to do that.
In the red zone here, brought to you by IBEW, local 613.
Got to be behind 73.
Now it's 4th down here, as you said, trying to run behind gas. Although pressure's going to come in there. They're going to wrap up Smith, and they're going to bring him down.
Man, they blitzed them, and he came in unblocked.
So you had a big front defensively here for Gainesville. First man through on that's going to be Darren Williams, the linebacker. He had a bunch of red elephants that followed.
A lot of confusion between the guard and tackle. Both the guard and tackle blocked the same guy that opened up basically the A-gap, and the penetration was on the running back and quarterback before they ever got started.
So now Gainesville gets the football back, and after the huge catch is negated there, that's going to end up being a pretty big loss of potential momentum for Westlake. And we'll see how Gainesville wants to handle its business here, going back on offense again, already up 14-0. Faked it. It's not a fake. That is a jet sweep play over there to Jeremiah Ware. Ware driven out of bounds, 31-yard line. Kennedy Bailey, the junior cornerback, there to push Ware out of bounds, but nice gain for Ware prior to that.
Man, if you're Westlake, you've had 3 good drives, and you have nothing to show for it.
Yeah, you got to be a lot of sort of gnashing teeth on sideline. You got to imagine if you're a Lions fan, or certainly if you're one of these Lions coaches or players. Another handoff. We haven't seen Gainesville really need to get the running game going yet, but maybe they'll look to get Carmelo Bird a little bit more involved here this time.
Second 9, you would imagine them take a shot right here, but
you mentioned earlier some shouts out. Obviously, we saw AJ Terrell get his jersey retired earlier. Tonight, Charles Johnson, former Georgia Bulldog, Carolina Panther, I've been told was getting his jersey retired at Hawkinsville.
Awesome, man.
Here is Hughley. Flag comes in. He's looking to throw. Another flag comes in. It's a completion to the tight end, Landon Williamson. But there is all kinds of laundry on the field.
Yeah, I want to complete my little shout out earlier. This Brody Talbert, senior, Prince Avenue, playing his first game after a kind of a year injury, and good to have my man back. Known him his whole life, and big fan.
I love to hear that. Love to hear that.
Holding. Offense.
Kind of feels like that. We need to get a stop here for Westlake.
I think so too.
Need to get a stop and see if we can get something in before the half.
Yeah, because what you don't want, because the Gainesville big offensive line hasn't had much need to assert itself. Bird has had a really good season. The Red Elephants. You don't want them sitting on a 3-touchdown lead and then just looking to get out.
No.
So I would say this is a obviously pivotal defensive sequence for Westlake. And kind of a big next 7:44 on this first half clock.
I agree.
But if you're doing this on a per play basis, I don't know that it's all that lopsided.
No,
Westlake has been fine per play.
And giving up 2 chunk plays for touchdowns. So they're going to talk about that, but I agree. This is a big 7:44, the second and 15, second 20 right here.
And I believe Morris Mitchell, does he want to talk about this, or we just have a regular stoppage here? We did get a late start tonight if you're just joining us. Weather, Atlanta traffic, notorious as it is. Biggest rivalry in Georgia high school sports are teams and traffic trying to make their way to where they're supposed to be on a Friday.
And I can tell you what, Atlanta traffic is undefeated. It's never even been in overtime.
Unfortunately, that's the case. Second down here.
He's open.
Going to be open. And it's going to be caught and heading down the sideline and turning on the speed inside the 50. Still on his feet inside the 35 and brought down there. That's Taz Smith. Third catch of the game for Smith, and every single one of them have been an absolute electric factory.
Brandon, that's what speed does to you. You miss one tackle. Watch this tackle. You've got to make that. Take a bad angle. He turns up the field, and he is gone.
We also had a 0 in the game throwing that pass. And I don't have a 0 on my, but it's Hughley back in now. Tied up there. The coverage was by Leo Dorsey, the sophomore safety. Josh Niblett's not happy about that. Too much contact, he thought.
Yeah. My favorite part of Josh Niblett, man, changed his outfit like 3 times in pregame.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, listen, I mean, Coach Niblett will tell you, he wants Gainesville to be what he calls a national brand.
Yes.
Very well aware of the portrayal of the program and the different sort of theatric elements you can, conjure up that kind of make that a little easier.
Really good on social media, their social media team. Good keep right there.
Yeah, Hughley, first carry of the night for him. That was a design one. Out of bounds at the 28. Got about 6 on that second down carry.
Reading the defensive end. Both of them crashed. He just keeps it's number 9.
Yeah, that's Hughley.
Yep,
number 9.
Hughley.
Yeah, earlier I said 0. There was no 0 on the roster.
Sure we were right here.
Yeah, it was Hughley's 9 got kind of truncated to look like a 0. That error was mine. Westlake does show pressure. They'll hand it to Bird. Bird still on his feet. 10-5. Touchdown. Carmelo Bird. Let's see our scoring recap here, brought to you by Breda Pest Management.
Running, contact balance. Look at him lean, runs through arm tackles. I tell you, Brandon, the physicality of Gainesville's offensive line and then their backs running through arm tackles.
You'll see Francisco Johnson come on to try the PAT. It's good, and it's now 21-0. Early days of Josh Niblett at Gainesville, I think you saw a big rotation of defensive linemen. Now it's that rotation. They have about 8 offensive linemen they love in the game, asserting themselves right there. We'll be right back.
Hey, does it matter if this leaks?
It don't matter to me. Can't see it from my house.
Illegal use of hands and proper training.
GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com has 14 different highly skilled trades with tuition-free training in our certified apprenticeship programs to train you the right way. Find your career at GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com.
What happens after you graduate? Will you go to the next level? Will people have your back in the heat of the battle? Will you still train like a champion in pursuit of greatness? You will when you become an IBEW electrician. Join our team. Visit IBEW613.org.
Deep shot for London. He makes the catch. The shot for Pierce, and who else but Jesse Bates? Moore fires through. Touchdown Atlanta. That goes nowhere. Find the pylon for the Atlanta touchdown. Sacked for the end zone. And touchdown Atlanta. What a throw.
Great teams are committed, focused on the details, and work hard to be their best. From practice to games, right down to their gear. Your field is a critical part of the game that allows your athletes to showcase their abilities. Sports Turf is committed to bringing your team innovative sports surfaces with unparalleled performance. You bring the vision, our team brings it to life.
For a healthier future together, look to Northside Hospital.
The GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com drive for the GHSA state title is sponsored by Sports Turf. You bring the vision, we'll bring it to life. Deer Park. Visit DeerParkWater.com to nominate your team for the Deer Park Team of the Week all season long. The Georgia Army National Guard. Live here, serve here, work here. Smart Local 85. Sheet metal is a smart move. And by the Governor's Office of Highway Safety. Seatbelts save lives. The Governor's Office of Highway Safety reminds you to buckle up before every trip.
We are back. Brandon Adams, Rusty Manziel, Kaylee Manziel doing a great job in our host position, and the Red Elephants are looking good here right now. Number 3 in the 5A classification on the road, leading 21-0 over Westlake. Lions, though, have a chance to do something about that with just over 6 minutes left to go. As you see the leap there on the kickoff, probably the best chance at a return tonight for Bryce Branch. He tried to go high in the air for that, but result ends up being pretty close to the same. And with that, we'll look at the Westlake resume here, brought to you by Smart Local 85. Morris Mitchell taking over for a program that's obviously one of the most respected in all of the state of Georgia.
Yeah, I mean, you look at AJ Terrell, you look at Cam Newton. Oh, by the way, Nate Wiggins. I mean, they've had some dudes roll through here, some NFL guys.
So Morris Mitchell told me this, and you may already be aware of this. I thought this stat was amazing. At one point in time, Westlake had 12 alumni on active NFL rosters.
I believe it. Now, they went through a stretch there. It was crazy.
Thought to maybe be a record for one high school at one time active at the same time, to give you an idea of what this program has been able to do throughout the years.
Fourth possession. They've had 3 really good possessions and came away with nothing.
Smith wants to throw now, trying to buy some time. Going to crank it up and throw towards the sideline. That was Deion Thomas, who had a chance of that, went high for it, could not bring it down. Clyde Jones had the coverage.
Look how big Thomas is, man. That is a good-looking junior wide receiver, unable to kind of get him going right now. And credit Gainesville, pressure again.
So Westlake has mostly been kind of a run-first team tonight, despite the wide receiver talent.
Yep.
Down 3 scores. Do they have to change that, or is it too early to
I would
abandon?
stay in this because you've got 6 minutes to go. If you can get a drive going.
It's 3 receivers right side. They become blockers for Thomas. Thomas gets the catch. Here he goes 40, 45, still on his feet into Red Elephant territory. He's still at the 30, 20, 15, 10, 5, and he's going to go out of bounds inside the 5-yard line. Deion Thomas takes it nearly 80 yards.
Man, he refused to go down. I thought this was going to be a 3 or 4 yard gain. Face mask almost, runs through that one, runs through 2. Going to leap a man here, runs through 3. This is the one I thought he was going down. He had him, that's 4. 5, keeps his balance. The big man's rumbling, and he's bumbling and stumbling. Just ran out of gas a little bit late, but a huge play for Westlake.
We're in the red zone here, brought to you by IBEW Local 613. Westlake crowd now comes alive more than it's been all night long. Sean Smith surveys the situation. It's 1st and goal, by the way. That's a handoff. Spinning, now trying to cut back right. That was Bransford. But Gainesville was all over that, and good to see Brandon Bailey, who left the game with an injury earlier.
Yes.
He is back in and among the Red Elephants on that stop.
Man, great job containing right there because he put a spin move on one defender, but the next guy from Gainesville just shows up to make the play. So they're keying, based off what I hear from the next booth, they're keying where 88. They think 88, the H-back, is leading you to the ball.
That's Patrick Reddick, the junior tight end.
Yeah, he's not in this time. Different formation.
So on 2nd down, handoff again, and wrapped up and slammed down. There to bring him down was Cash O'Callahan, 3rd-year starter. Elijah Griffin in there as well. Xavier Griffin, I should say, in there as well.
Xavier Griffin, good job there, wrapping up. Just a little bit too much dancing around for me. You've got to get north-south at this part of the field. You got a big running, you got a big tackle right there. Get in behind him. Just a little bit too much dancing for me.
3rd and goal now, and if you're Westlake, you have got to get something out of this. 3 receivers right side. Smith will throw left, though, fight for the football, and it's going to be broken up over there. It's been a good night for Elijah Watson. He went up high to knock that one down. And it seems like Westlake.
There's a good job there by Watson. Stayed in phase, used the sideline to help him against a bigger wide receiver. Ball thrown a little bit behind him, but did a good job. Man, it is 4th and goal now from the
Westlake going to bring.
No, they got a kicker
out there.
Yep.
That's going to be out there to kick it is Edwin Jose. This is going to be a 24-yard kick for Jose, and it hit the upright, and it's no good. Dion Thomas went 80 yards on a reception, set up Westlake on a 1st and goal, but the Lions cannot scratch, and it's more of the same.
Wow.
A lot of success on everything but the scoreboard for Westlake. We'll be right back.
This is the home of the GOATs, Friday Night Lights, and home of the Ballers. This is home of the Gamers. Peachtree Sports Network is the home of the Hustlers and home of the Speed Junkies. The Peach State plays here. Atlanta's home of live local sports is Peachtree Sports Network.
It's hot at Matthews Kia of Cartersville, so we are having a hot sales event. We have great selections of 2024 and 2025 new vehicles. Lease the 2025 Kia Carnival LX $429 for 24 months. The 2024 Kia Sportage LX $289 for 24 months. Or the 2024 Kia Telluride S just $379 for 24 months. Hurry, because prices are in your favor right now. Don't forget, Matthews Kia of Cartersville is home to the lifetime warranty. Come see us today. All roads lead to Matthews Kia of Cartersville.
Ingalls, all the ingredients for family.
Something monumental, covering all things football, is coming. Football's newest show breaks down all things NFL, from the plays to the players, from camp to kickoff, and everything in between, all year long. GMFB Overtime. It's football for everyone.
Weekdays at 10 a.m. starting September 2nd.
Welcome back, everybody. Gainesville just got a big defensive stop, like right in the shadow of the Westlake end zone to get the football back, and it has been good news to the Red Elephants when they've had it here tonight. In fact, let's show you here. Touchdown, touchdown, touchdown to begin the game here for Gainesville. It was a rushing touchdown for Carmelo Bird a moment ago. Taz Smith got on the action, and Shane King got in there as well.
I tell you what, it was a touchdown saving tackle, I believe, by Xavier Griffin on that long run on pursuit and makes the tackle.
Hughley will throw. Receiver is there, trying to make the catch over the shoulder, and it's incomplete. Trying to get Ware involved again. I have liked the arm strength from Hughley now.
Yeah, he surprised me. Look, this is the first time I really got a chance to see him. I watched a little bit of tape today. Had a really good game last week against a very good Moody team over in Alabama.
I saw Jalen Delapierre with the coverage. He had an interception last week in his first game as a starting cornerback for the Lions, and that win over Douglas. That's the handoff going to Bird. Bird finds some room across the 30-yard line. Going to be right at another first down, and he has it for Gainesville. 4:30, second quarter.
Man, you have got to what Westlake must be thinking right now. 4 drives, no points, 4 really productive drives, no points out of that. Gainesville comes right back down and able to run the ball a little bit.
Hughley's got a tight end there. That's Williamson. Interesting to hear Josh Niblett talk about Williamson, saying he thinks the tight end's the X factor for their offense. Obviously, you remember in the first years for Niblett in Gainesville, his son was a starting tight end. He says this is the guy we asked to do inline blocking and block on screens, and obviously He'll be a route runner there as well, and he really likes what Williamson does. You know, the intended target on that play, and perhaps a guy that gets less attention than some of the other players in this Gainesville offense.
Maybe you see the thought process of Westlake, how important his drive is. You see one Gaston in its center right over nose guard, right over the center this time.
That gives you an idea, and a great spot by Rusty. You'll see 73 takes up half your screen.
Yeah. Takes up A and B gap.
Ware goes in motion, almost like a little orbit motion. Handoff, fighting for yards, up to about the 38 that time. That's more from Carmelo Bird. Mentioned Madison County is one of our teams of the week. They're also up right now on top of Loganville as well. Bird doing a good job of showing you some of those yards after contact that Josh Niblett praised him for. If you want to know the truth, I sort of miss the traditional white Gainesville helmet.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet, wasn't it?
That's a throw and catch there. Taz Smith, and I'm telling you, every single time Smith has touched it, it has been something special. Transfer from Johns Creek, and a guy that they want to build a lot of their offense around here this year.
He is just open, man. He went and snagged that ball.
Niblett said, we don't call plays, we call players, and they want to call as much as they can for Smith. That's a handoff more from Bird. He's been the only Red Elephant to get a carry tonight, at least by way of handoff. But he's been equal to the task. Football came free. It was a Lions defender who had it, but they're going to say Bird was well down prior to that. Gainesville in no hurry here. The Westlake uniform is sharp.
Yes.
Believe it or not, I believe this is the first time I've ever done a Westlake game before.
Done a couple, I believe, early on.
Looked like Gainesville might want to set up a screen, and now Hughley's just going to try to run and throw. He was near the line of scrimmage, but not in front of it when he threw it.
I don't know how they didn't get a legal man down the field on that play.
Yeah. It looked to me like they were trying to set up a screen, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm. And that's a timing deal, too. You release those offensive linemen release.
Want to send a word of congratulations out to the Rome Wolves. Obviously, you know that community really well. And listen, we're objective around here, but there's a special kind of, no offense to folks in Carrollton, special sort of spot in my heart tonight as Rome gets back. First game of the season after what they've been through with the bus accident. They were very lucky, did not turn into something tragic. So just really wishing them well, obviously, as they now begin their 2024 season. Here on third down, Gainesville back at it. A running play will cross the 45, get down to about the 43, but that's going to bring up fourth down.
Rome doing the old school the Rusty Mansell senior year. We opened up Labor Day weekend. That's when high school football used to open up,
that's
man.
When football season used to be.
I feel like we're halfway. We're into like region championships now. You know, Labor Day weekend would start so early, but it used to be you go to school on Friday, Labor Day weekend, and first football game was Labor Day weekend.
Here comes Gainesville, by the way, rushing up here on fourth down. Westlake going to try to creep a linebacker up to the line of scrimmage. Hughley.
Don't call timeout.
Yeah, he didn't get the look he wanted, or they were just trying to draw him off sides. Either way, that doesn't quite work out. And while we have that moment on timeout here on fourth down, let's also give a shout out to our friends at Breda Pest Management. You know, Breda Pest Management knows your house inside and out. With a customized treatment plan that stops any bugs and critters, Breda does it right, protecting the inside and the outside of your home. It's the bugs inside your house, after all. Those are the ones that you really want gone. So remember, Breda Pest Management, they handle bugs and critters. So 4th and 4 coming up. Gainesville tried to draw Westlake off sides, did not happen. It seems like one of the things we've seen in recent years, though, Rusty, is it used to be boilerplate, rubber stamp, that if you didn't get the penalty, you rush the punter on the field, and perhaps that's what Gainesville will do, and if they do, it'll be Taz King that punts. But you see more teams keep their offense on the field after a timeout, I feel like, than you used to.
And you can quick kick from the quarterback. Mm-hmm. If you see him in shotgun a little deeper than normal, that's usually a telltale.
So let's watch for that here. It looks like an offensive formation to me, though.
Yeah, he's up close. So they're going to call timeout. So we're in that basketball setup. You saw their formation. We're going to call timeout, and we're going to set up how we're going to run.
While we're talking about other great sports across the state of Georgia, let's also remind you of the Week 2 volleyball rankings here, courtesy of Score Atlanta. Alpharetta, number 1 in the 6A classification. The Greyhounds of Pope, they're in 5A. And, of course, don't forget the Score Atlanta volleyball rankings can be seen every Tuesday on ScoreATL.com. Be sure to tune in to the Georgia High School Sports Daily, the brand new show airing live out of the Score Atlanta television studios every weekday at noon on the Peachtree Sports Network for a breakdown of each classification and the teams rising and falling in the rankings. All episodes are also available to download digitally on Atlanta News First, Zeem, and the NFHS Network. I said download. You're probably not downloading. You just don't watch it. I don't know if you can download it or not. Just watch it. We'll keep it on the network here, and you just watch it. All right, so Gainesville still same kind of situation. You'll see where the slot receiver here. Gainesville pretty bunched, more so than normal. 5 across for Westlake, including a pass rusher standing up on the left side of the formation. Safety creeps closer there as well. That's going to be the handoff to Bird. Bird trying left side. Needs the 39 and doesn't get it. Slammed down hard. Westlake gets back to football.
Great job there coming up. Leo Dorsey, I believe that's a sophomore defensive back. Watch him come up and square him and cut him off. Gets the alley, lets his guys come in and help him. And boy, they finish it off big time. Number 5, Jalen Delapierre. Good job there.
And while we have a moment, let's take a look at a schedule here there as well for Westlake. Obviously getting that win last week against Douglas. And then, of course, Gainesville tonight, then kind of rolling through. Interesting next couple weeks. Terrell, who was also part of our Corky Hill Dave Hunter Classic. Roswell coming up on September 13th. Obviously the big region matchup against Carrollton coming up in October. Carrollton, of course, playing the aforementioned Rome Wolves that we talked about just a couple of minutes ago.
17-14, that Rome-Carrollton game.
So we're sitting here at 2 minutes, 2 seconds. We are now the only level of football that doesn't stop the play at the 2-minute mark.
That's new, isn't it?
Yeah, NFL, obviously the famous 2-minute warning, and now we've got a 2-minute stoppage in college football there as well, which for some reason they're not calling a warning. You see Smith, that's going to be a throw and catch on first down. Nice yardage here. Bryce Branch getting his first catch of the game, and that may set up Westlake to be a little bit more aggressive.
Yeah, I think they're going to get that. Listen, you got to make some plays, trying to get in this 2-minute offense. Got a player down. Got one down.
Yeah, that's Gaston, right?
Yeah, they told him to go down. He's trying to. That's a big man going to the ground pretty quick.
All right, we'll see it again. You'll see Branch here.
Gadsden on that last defensive play in, he got kind of rolled up on. I watched him kind of, you know how you bend your knee and you pick it up and down. They looked at him, and maybe he's limping a little bit.
Yeah, let's keep an eye on that. That would be a very big deal.
Yeah, he's going back in the training game, and I think he just tried to go back out, and it just didn't feel right.
I thought it was interesting that Josh Niblett, who's obviously the former Hoover coach, kind of compared Gaston this week to a guy named Daniel Falele, who used to be at IMG Academy, one of the biggest players you'll ever see.
Yep.
You see, did Travis Smith make that catch?
Yes, he did.
What a player Travis Smith is. My goodness.
Watch these hands right here. We're talking about strong hands and just snag a ball. Watch this.
Wham. I mean, that is something else, because I tell you, I don't hate that coverage by Zachary Ingram at all. I feel like he had coverage. Smith is just going to catch the football.
The defensive back from North Dakota State knows how he feels against Travis Hunter last night.
It's a very similar comparison.
He had great coverage, and he still gave up 6.
108 seconds. Handoff. Trying to find something is Odini. And now we're going to click near 90.
Got a defender down for Gainesville. Tries to get up. That's Clyde Jones, number 21. He goes to the ground.
You see Odini cutting back. Yeah, Jones sort of realizing that if I'm hurt, let me just go ahead and take a seat here, because that's sort of become the convention in football as of late. As you see Jones being tended to, there's 5'11", 170-pound senior.
Yeah, it was just a physical play. He comes up to show support against the run. I think his ankle got kind of rolled. You see him, Big Gaston. He got rolled up a little bit on his knee.
Looks like he's wincing a little bit. Is that kind of what you saw?
Yep.
I finished the point as you see Jones walking off. Let me also give a shout out to our friends at Breda Pest Management here one more time there as well. You can switch your termite protection to Breda Pest Management, and your rate is locked in for 10 years. If live termites are ever found, Breda's going to retreat, fix the damage, and honor the rest of your contract all for free. Breda, they handle bugs and critters. So to finish the point I was making about Niblett earlier, kind of comparing him to Falele, one of the biggest recruits you've probably ever covered.
Yeah.
I think the statement here is that Gaston's not just big the way that a typical Georgia offensive line commit is. One of the biggest players that a veteran coach has kind of ever seen.
Yeah, oh yeah, he's huge. I mean, he's a 1%er, man. I mean, really is.
Smith will now try to throw. Speaking of 1%ers, over there to try to bring it in is Travis Smith, and he does for a touchdown, 38 yards.
Brandon, sometimes it's our athlete is better than your athlete. And you look at the Gainesville coaches that stand beside us, they just hold their hands up. He just makes a play. Watch Travis Smith. Number one, I like the ball's a little bit underthrown. You're going to see him go back. He's going to undercut both these guys and watch him body them up. 2 guys on him. That's touchdown.
Coverage.
Two great catches on him on this series.
On this series alone, and Westlake is going to get on the board. Going to get the PAT, and now with 21-7, keeping in mind, as we said before, if you're not looking at final score or the current score and you're just looking at the success on a per-play basis, there's kind of a lot to like about what Westlake has done. It's been the score for the most part that's been lopsided, but now on the basis of that throw by Sean Smith to Travis Smith, they're able to get on the board and start to fix some of that.
I mean, that was a massive answer right there for Westlake, because now Gainesville gets the ball to start the second half. They can't, that was a great answer there, had to have it.
So how about that for Travis Smith coming in tonight, 12 catches, 261 yards, a couple of touchdowns. He'll add to that touchdown total right there. And now with 59.9 seconds left, as explosive as this Gainesville offense is, certainly don't count it as a given. They won't try to see if something happens, especially if they get something on the kick here. It will be returnable at the 10. That's where crosses the 25 up near the 27. So with 52.4 seconds, plenty of clock, plenty of athlete here. We'll see how aggressive Josh Niblett wants to get.
They're taping his ankle right there. So when they're looking at his knee, it might have been his ankle kind of got rolled up, and you see that. It's going to be a lot of tape on that big man.
That's exactly right.
But
and
it looks like that means he's trying to go back in.
Well, obviously we wish him well. And a lot of our audience tonight, especially those who are Georgia fans tuned in to see Gaston, I think they've been impressed by what they've seen.
Yeah, big man can move, man. I saw enough in the spring game.
And I'll tell you, if you're a Georgia fan, you'll love getting a chance to talk to Morris Mitchell here this week. What he says about Gaston is probably as valuable as anything you're going to see from him on the field. Lions showing pressure here. Hughley going to throw. Ware there to catch it. Ware trying to dance across the 35 or the 36. Gainesville going to hurry.
Yes,
clock is ticking at 40 seconds. Quick change here for Westlake defensively. They're going to run a couple of guys on. Now trying to run a guy off here real quick. And now Hughley going to throw. Delapierre had the coverage again. And that's an incomplete pass.
Yeah, Gainesville is going to try to go 2 for 1 right here.
So 24.1 seconds. It's now 3rd down. Now, be careful here, too, because if somehow you don't get it, now you're looking at a 4th down situation in your own territory where something can happen. So little bit of a decision right now. Westlake just putting all kinds of bodies near the line of scrimmage. They got like 8 guys in the tackle box right now. Hughley will throw. Ware is there to catch it. He's got first down yardage, and flag comes in at the end.
We may have a targeting. We may have. Let's see what we get here.
Let's see here. So Ware gets the catch.
Watch the defender come in late right here. Right here. See that? That was a shoulder.
Yeah, Chase Story was the nose man.
Shoulder. They waved it off. Good job. They waved that off.
Yeah, that's smart. That's smart.
Good job. Yeah, he led with his shoulder.
All right, so now you're kind of getting closer to like that sort of midfield territory. And, I mean, Hughley's shown tonight he's got the arm strength. So now timeout will be called again. I believe Gainesville called that one again. So don't forget, obviously, whatever happens tonight, we'll be talking about this and so much more coming up this upcoming week at noon. It debuts September 3rd, the inaugural episode of the Georgia High School Sports Daily, the brand new show televised out of the Score Atlanta television studios. The latest news and stories on everything Georgia high school sports. Live Monday through Friday starting at noon on the Peachtree Sports Network. It's available digitally as well on Atlanta News First, Zeem, and the NFHS Network. Of course, the NFHS Network doing a great job keeping streams going for a lot of folks watching all kinds of games all across the state of Georgia here tonight.
Yeah, they do a great job. It's a great product.
One of my favorite things to do on the way home, too, is obviously safely, hands at 10 and 2, but I'll kind of go around to the various websites and see what all the different radio stations have their call-in shows after the game.
Love those
various parts of the state.
Man.
I tell you, I just love my drive home doing that each and every night. So to everybody staying up late, keeping us up to date on scores and reminding us what's happening around the state, you guys are doing great work, and we are very, very appreciative of that. So Westlake going to drop a bunch back in coverage now. 2 deep safeties here. 3 receivers for Gainesville. Hughley just going to dump it across the middle of the field. That's Williamson, the tight end, who catches it. Gets inside the 40. Flag comes in. Clock stops. If it's not on Gainesville, then they're set up pretty well, but it looks like the Red Elephants are moving back.
Yeah,
Let's see what the call is.
Yeah, at that point, you probably want to get out of the half, up 21-7, get the ball back.
Got a halftime show coming up if this first half ever comes to a conclusion. Big if here at the moment.
Now, my guy Chad Simmons, I believe, we're going to interview at halftime.
Oh, yeah. Good to see Chad here a little earlier. Obviously doing a great job. I mean, a guy who just knows the recruiting landscape so well. Been embedded in the state of Georgia, I guess, now, doing a lot of national coverage for you guys over there at On 3, which is great to see.
He spent the last weekend, he went in California Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Watched a lot of games. Spent about 5 days in California.
Total confession, I'm so busy yapping. I don't know what the call was, but it was against Gainesville.
Yeah.
I need to pay more attention than that. Either way, you're going to back them up. Clock's going to tick, and they're just going to let it run out. Yeah, this is going to bring the first half to a close. Yep. And if you're Gainesville, you got a lot to like. But while you might, based on the score, appear to have dominated, you certainly have not decimated because Westlake still hangs around. They showed you what Travis Smith could do in the final position they had offensively. I think setting up some fireworks here in the second half as the Lions try to mount a comeback. Fun halftime show coming up. Then we'll be back with you on the Peachtree Sports Network.
The Mechanical Trades Institute is an opportunity towards personal financial freedom through hands-on and rewarding work. Our school is completely free and gives apprentices the knowledge and skills required to gain access to a lifelong career path. Apprentices learn pipe fitting, plumbing, mechanical service, and welding. They earn money as they learn and graduate with no student debt. Start a career with the Mechanical Trades Institute and change your financial future.
The Georgia Sheet Metal JETC equips apprentices with the knowledge and skills required to start a rewarding career in the sheet metal industry with programs in HVAC, industrial welding, and testing, adjusting, and balancing. Training is 100% free and allows apprentices to earn as they learn. Journeymen graduate with no student debt and have the potential to earn more than most college graduates. Visit our website to learn more about this opportunity at careersinsheetmetal.com.
Planting season is here, and it's time to get your yard looking its best. So treat your yard to the perfect touch from the professionals at Personal Touch Lawn Care. Mowing, maintenance, design, and construction. Personal Touch Lawn Care does it all.
If my yard is taken care of, it's one thing off my list that I don't have to worry about.
Sign up now for monthly maintenance and get the 12th month free.
Big enough to serve you, small enough to know you.
Personal Touch Lawn Care, 770-908-1238 or online at ptlcatlanta.com.
Sweetheart, please don't forget to wear your seatbelt. I got it, Mom.
It's a really nice day, living in the right space. Breathing your grace, got me feeling some kind of way.
In the blink of an eye, so many tomorrows can disappear. Buckle up.
And welcome all to the halftime show brought to you by Sports Turf. I'm Kaylee Mansell with Chad Simmons, the National Recruiting Director for On3. First, we have to wish you a happy belated birthday. What you've done for recruiting, not just in the state of Georgia, but everywhere, it really can't be overstated. But I'm sure games like tonight make your job a little bit easier when you've got talent for both teams on both sides of the field. Who are you watching tonight?
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, thanks for the birthday wishes, Kaylee, obviously. Tonight, I would say, just to hit it real quick, two from each team. I think starting with the home team, Westlake. Juan Gaston, you can't miss him. Georgia commit, 6'7", 360 pounds on a good day, probably. A massive kid out here pulling, showing his athleticism, plays basketball as well. A monster out here. 4-star for us on the On3 industry ranking. And then Travis Smith, who'll be a rival for Juan Gaston going to Tennessee. Big-time kid, 4-star. Saw him catch a touchdown pass here late in the first half, put Westlake on the board. Jump ball guy, big catch radius. Moving over to Gainesville, Alex Payne, offensive lineman, more athletic, about 100 pounds lighter than Juan Gaston in that 6'5", 260 pound range. Tech came after him, other programs going to UNC to play for Mac Brown. Then you have an edge guy, 2026, one of the best players in the country, Xavier Griffin, committed to USC earlier this summer, will be at Georgia game tomorrow against Clemson as a Georgia recruit. Recruiting never stops for a guy like that, an elite talent, but again, spoiled out here with games like this. Players on each team, underclassmen and seniors.
You just got back from California. I feel like every time I see you on social media, you're always somewhere different, but I know you always find yourself back here in the state of Georgia. What is it about Georgia high school football and its athletes that separates them from everyone else?
You know, I think the dedication. These guys love the game. The coaches that coach them love the game. And we see now more and more, not saying I'm a huge fan, but guys going all in on just football. They're not playing other sports, whether it be basketball, baseball, track, wrestle. These kids live it and breathe it down here in Georgia. I think them putting the work in, you know, whether it's good or bad, year-round, these kids go all in. The coaches go all in, weight program, nutrition program, practice, all-season trainings. You know, I think to me that's what separates Georgia being a little bit different. The coaches love it as much as the players do.
All right, last thing, really quick. Where's your game next Friday? Where are you going to be?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, I was thinking about possibly Virginia, DMV area, maybe Louisiana. I never really know, to be honest with you, until maybe a few days out. I'll set my travels up. I could be back here in Georgia, but it kind of all depends on who's playing, who gets injured, what the weather's like. But I would say follow me on social media. You'll find out next week.
Well, again, thanks for joining us. Happy belated birthday. But let's go ahead and take a look at the Gainesville Band, brought to you by Deer Park.
Thank you for watching Georgia High School Heroes presented by Ingles. This week, we're wrapping up our series with a pair of players in their rookie seasons as NFL quarterbacks who will forever be linked by their prep careers here in Georgia. I'm speaking about Justin Fields and Trevor Lawrence. At Harrison High School, Justin Fields was named Mr. Georgia Football by the Touchdown Club of Atlanta. At the same time, at Cartersville High School, Trevor Lawrence was the Atlanta Journal-Constitution Player of the Year. He went on to lead the Clemson Tigers to the FBS National Championship. Fields took the Ohio State Buckeyes to the championship game as well. Lawrence would go on to be drafted in the first round by the Jacksonville Jaguars, while Fields would go later in the first round to the Chicago Bears. Thank you for watching Georgia High School Heroes, presented by Ingles.
Any slow sipper knows you'll enjoy your drink from McDonald's longer than anyone else.
Now get any size soft drink or Southern Style sweet tea for just $1, only in the McDonald's app. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
This is the home of the GOATs, Friday Night Lights, and home of the Ballers. This is home of the Gamers. Peachtree Sports Network is the home of the Hustlers and home of the Speed Junkies. The Peach State plays here. Atlanta's home of live local sports is Peachtree Sports Network. The passion, the hustle, the grit. It all goes down on Peachtree TV, where the Atlanta Dream becomes the LA Sparks' worst nightmare. Dream Sparks. Sunday at 7 on Peachtree TV.
And welcome all to the halftime show presented to you by Sports Turf. I'm Kelly Mansell with Steve Langley of Smart Local 85. First off, so awesome to have you back, not just as a sponsor, but here in the booth with us.
So glad to be back, waiting on a good, exciting year of high school football. Local 85 being a nonprofit, we're so glad we can sponsor stuff like this in our communities.
Yeah, and speaking of community, I know that you guys held a community service event this summer at Lake Altoona. Tell me more about that.
Yeah, one of our apprentices, Dee Lee, she organized it, got Union Sportsman Alliance, the Corps of Engineers, IBEW, Smart Local 85, and we went up there and tore a rotten dock down and built a brand new dock, put a new aluminum dock up. So it's good that our apprentices get involved, our local gets involved, and we do community outreaches like that.
And while we're on that subject, I want to talk about the apprenticeship program that you guys offer. What's the benefit? What's the skill set you acquire within that?
So glad you mentioned that. Local 85 just built us a brand new 40,000 square foot facility. We'll have 40 welding booths, a 13,000 square foot shop, 7 classrooms, going from 300 apprentices currently to hopefully 600 to 700 in the next couple of years. Anybody looking to get into a career, to have a good wage, good insurance, good pension, be able to retire when you're 55, 56 years old with a comfortable living, needs to come join us.
And what sort of skills or trade do you learn during the apprenticeship program?
Well, you don't have to have any skills to start with. We train you on everything, on how to build duct, test and balance, fire life safety, welding. There's just all kind of skills that we teach in our apprenticeship program. Project managing, drafting. Yeah, we're as Randy Bill says, we have a grant program that's unreal.
And Smart Local 85 has been a long-time partner with us here in high school football as well. Why is the relationship between Smart Local 85 and high school sports so important?
So we think getting with the kids, you know, and giving them a place to have a career in the building trades, not just with sheet metal, if they into electricity or plumbing, pipe fitting. The building trades is the way to go because of the benefits and the wages. You get a good thing, but you know, it's just a community outreach. We do things for our members, kids, you know, sponsor Little League football.
Yeah.
So, you know, we're good at all of it.
And for those at home who are interested in finding out more, where can they find out more?
Go to gh85.org and apply.
Steve, thank you for joining us. So awesome to see you again, guys. We will be back with more after the break.
Man, you know how to do this?
Man, I don't even know. I was flipping burgers last week.
Violation, unsportsmanlike conduct, impersonating a craftsman.
Skilled trade unions are well-trained career pros, not part-timers. Construction is a rewarding and lucrative career with the advancement potential, but you have to do it the right way with the right training. Learn how you can be a pro. Find your career at GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com.
Beginning the morning you opened your eyes, we spent every waking moment preparing you for the day you'd leave our nest. Whether it's driving to practice or helping with homework, it's all prepared you for, what am I going to be when I grow up? Will you be ready?
After much thought, I made my decision to take my talents to the IBEW Local 613.
The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers is not simply a job, it's a career. Visit IBEW613.org to begin a new future today.
Great teams are committed, focused on the details, and work hard to be their best. From practice to games, right down to their gear. Your field is a critical part of the game that allows your athletes to showcase their athletic abilities. Sports Turf is committed to bringing your team innovative sports surfaces with unparalleled performance. You bring the vision. Our team brings it to life.
For a healthier future together, look to Northside.
And welcome back to the halftime show brought to you by Sports Turf. I'm Kaylee Mansell with Byron Parker, the Westlake Athletic Director. Now, I have to admit, this has absolutely nothing to do with what I'm going to ask you or even relating to your position, but I do want to give a shout out to y'all's PA announcer. He might be one of the best announcers that we've ever heard. He's bringing some life into this game.
Yeah, Strick is really good. You know, sometimes we get in trouble with some of the things he says. We've kind of asked him to tone it down this year, but he's amazing. He brings a lot of life and fun to the game.
Yeah, so before the game, we got to see AJ Terrell have his jersey retired. How good is it for not just the students at the school, but the community to see someone like that and all their hard work pay off here at Westlake High School?
Well, one, it helps that he signed a new contract with the Atlanta Falcons, so he's staying at home for the foreseeable future. But it's definitely good. You know, he's an inspiration to so many people in the community, to our football team, to other little kids, and even to his brother. So it's always good to bring him home and recognize him and give him the flowers that he deserves.
Now, you yourself are an athlete playing both football and basketball at Tulane. Spent some time in the NFL as well. How did being an athlete help prepare you for the position that you have now as athletic director?
Well, I think for me, one of the things that parents really don't understand and don't always like is that I've seen it from every angle.
Yeah.
Right? I've played the game, I've coached the game, and my kids are D1 athletes at NC State. So I've also raised kids that are athletes. So I see, you know, the things that they don't see. I know things that they don't know, and I've experienced things that they haven't experienced and that their children are going to experience. So I think that helps me out in my day-to-day as an athletic director.
Well, thank you for joining us. Thanks for letting us be here tonight. But we do want to take a look at the Westlake Band brought to you by Dog Nation.
Your home for live local high school football is Peachtree Sports Network. Don't miss the action every Friday night, only on PSN. Over the air on 17.2, on cable, and streaming on YouTube TV and Fubo. High school football on PSN is sponsored by McDonald's.
When I get an emergency call, it's a race against the clock. My vision hyper-focuses on whatever is right in front of me. Precision is key in these moments. I have to make sure every step I take gets me out the door as quickly as possible. Being an essential worker comes with a lot of responsibility. Taking care of my fellow Atlanta residents gives me purpose. Every call breeds a new challenge, but I'm proud to be a Cool Ray HVAC technician because we will always be there when you need us.
It's hot at Matthews Kia of Cartersville, so we are having a hot sales event. We have great selections of 2024 and 2025 new vehicles. Lease the 2025 Kia Carnival LX $429 for 24 months. The 2024 Kia Sportage LX $289 for 24 months. Or the 2024 Kia Telluride S just $379 for 24 months. Hurry, because prices are in your favor right now. Don't forget, Matthews Kia of Cartersville is home to the lifetime warranty. Come see us today. All roads lead to Matthews Kia of Cartersville.
The passion, the hustle, the grit. It all goes down on Peachtree TV, where the Atlanta Dream becomes the LA Sparks' worst nightmare. Dream Sparks, Sunday at 7 on Peachtree TV. This is the home of the GOATs, Friday Night Lights, and home of the Ballers. This is home of the Gamers. Peachtree Sports Network is the home of the Hustlers and home of the Speed Junkies. The Peach State plays here. Atlanta's home of live local sports is Peachtree Sports Network.
Something monumental, covering all things football, is coming. Football's newest show breaks down all things NFL, from the plays to the players, from camp to kickoff, and everything in between, all year long. GMFB Overtime. It's football for everyone.
Weekdays at 10 a.m. starting September 2nd.
And welcome back to the halftime show brought to you by Sports Turf. I'm joined by Gainesville Athletic Director Adam Lindsay. I talked to Coach Nibbler earlier. You play 4 games on the road to start the season, 7 in total, but that's because you have stadium renovations going on right now. What are you renovating? What's that going to look like when it's done?
Well, we've basically torn down the entire home side that's been there for 60 years and rebuilt it. It's going to be the most magnificent high school stadium around. It's got suites on the next to top floor and full game day operations with media booths you guys are going to love, I'm telling you.
Clearly it has not stopped the momentum, though, for fans. One thing about Red Kingdom, they travel. Talk about the community support and how that's specific to Gainesville.
Well, one of the reasons I came to Gainesville is Gainesville's community unabashedly cares about athletics. We've never been to an away game because we make every stadium our home game. So, and it goes across all sports. You come to a basketball game, come to a baseball game. Our community cares and they want to be there and support the Red Elephants.
So while we only get to really see Gainesville football, there's other sports going on right now. Talk a little bit about the other fall sports that are happening right now.
Well, we're actually having a great fall. I'm very excited about it. Our cross-country team, who's always ranked in the top 10 in the state, they're getting into their groove right now. The girls are doing really well. Our softball team has won more games this season than they've won in the last 4 years, so very excited. We had a new coach this year. He's doing a fantastic job. And then our volleyball team is doing really well. Picked up their first region win last week against Roswell. So it was their first region game. So they're getting ready to kick off the rest of it next week. And we're having a good fall. We love it.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. Can't wait to see you again for a home game in the very near future. All right, with that, let's take a look at some first half highlights with Brandon Adams.
Kaylee Manziel, appreciate that. And I couldn't help but notice Adam Lindsay saying that the new City Park there, Bobby Greenfield, going to be the nicest stadium around. Keeping in mind, there's another stadium being built shortly down the road there at Buford.
Fired.
A little bit of an arms race there. And
fired.
We are here for all of that. We're also here for some of our first half highlights there as well. We'll jump right into these. And what a start it was for Gainesville. And quarterback Kareem Hughley there, as they were brought to you by the Mechanical Trades Institute. How about Hughley cranking up? He's going to find Taz Smith here, the senior transfer, And Smith would make his way to the end zone there from about 50 yards out. You love to see that. Really nice job throwing the football all night long by Hughley.
Yeah, I've been impressed with him as well, Taz Smith. His ability to kind of go through his progression, spin it. This was the play of the half for me.
Yeah, getting Shane King involved right there. King would catch it, then turn on the afterburners, give the stiff arm.
What, another one here.
And then another one, and he's in the end zone. And it was all Gainesville there at that point in time, up 14-0. Then running back Carmelo Bird would add to that from 20 yards out.
Good job blocking up front here. He's going to run through a couple of arm tackles, gets to open space, and he does the rest. You see that old school lean. He's just trying to get there, and he's able to run through that last tackle for a touchdown.
And on the basis of highlights, you think it was all Gainesville.
Yeah,
but
no kidding.
It really wasn't. You know, Westlake was doing a lot well, especially on the ground. They just didn't have any points to show for it. But eventually, that would change. And it would change on the arm of Sean Smith, who's going to find Travis Smith here facing double coverage, and Smith would not be denied, and he finds his way into the end zone. And that's where the scoring kind of stands here right now. It's Gainesville up 21-7, but in their own stadium, feeling good after a win last week against Douglas. You got the impression that Westlake is still going to be heard from in this game. So we're going to do this. One more quick timeout, and then after that, we'll be ready for second half action here in our drive for the GHSA state title presented by GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com. A good one between one of the best in 5A against one of the top most explosive teams in 6A. Gainesville and Westlake. Second half action comes up right after this.
A journeyman with Local 85, when you turn out, you can be hitting six figures.
Hey, I have your back, you have my back. We're going to do this together. We're one for all for one.
College just wasn't for me. Let's look into actual career jobs that wouldn't take college, where I wouldn't, lose money and all that. Instead of losing a lot more money at the end, why not make money and make more money at the end?
Are you interested in becoming a deputy or a jailer? The Gwinnett County Sheriff's Office is hiring and looking for individuals passionate about protecting and serving their community. If you are 18 years or older, join our team by visiting gogcso.com for more information. Gwinnett County, together we can make a difference.
Customer service is everything in our industry, and one thing our clients love is when they call Breda, they get a live representative. At Breda, you get the attention you need and deserve right when you call in. Your appointment gets scheduled right then and there, and you get a specific time, no window of arrival. Our staff are your neighbors. They know what's going on in your community, and they're invested in doing it better.
Breda, Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
Struggling with food insecurity can feel lonely, yet every community across America is affected by hunger, which is why our Kroger associates work together to rescue nutritious food that would otherwise go to waste in an effort to donate 3 billion meals by 2025. Because we believe everyone should have access to fresh, delicious food. Join the Kroger Zero Hunger, Zero Waste Foundation to defeat hunger and eliminate food waste.
Sweetheart, please don't forget to wear your seatbelt. I got it, Mom.
It's a really nice day, living in the right space. Breathing your grace, got me feeling some kind of
way. In the blink of an eye, so many tomorrows can disappear. Buckle up for your future. Every trip, every time. A message from the Governor's Office of Highway Safety.
The drive for the GHSA state title is presented by GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com. Transform your future today.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Second half action getting ready to begin here. It'll be Jeremiah Ware back to receive the kick. Sent in his direction by Edwin Jose.
Got a final. Blessed Trinity kicks a field goal with a minute left to beat Prince Avenue 23-21.
Massive win for Ed Dudley here tonight. Ware on the kickoff gets across the 30-yard line. So good field position to start here for Gainesville, up 21-7. Thomasville takes down the syrup makers of Cairo tonight.
You know, that was a big crowd down there with those games. Look at North.
How about North
I told you, man. I was impressed with them.
Wins against Colquitt County. What a win
on
for
the road.
Eric Godfrey. How many bigger wins has Godfrey had than that?
I don't know that he's had one at Moultrie. I'm telling you, people were sleeping, including myself. Didn't know enough about him.
Their defensive line gives them a chance against anybody.
That running back they've got, I'm telling you, they've got a really good football team.
That is a eye-pop. Not that North Gwinnett, we didn't think they were good, but that's an eye-popping win against Colquitt County. All right, just underway here, third quarter action. If you're trying to do the math in your head, we were late starting tonight. Got off about 8:20. Normally kickoff for us is about 8 p.m. A couple of guys go in motion. Williams there. It's going to be a throw over to Williams. Williams, look at the speed here. He's inside Lion territory all the way down the 22-yard line. Pickup of nearly 40 for Williams. He went in motion, and he was wide open, and Euclid found him.
Love the ball fake there by Hewley to get the eyes of that defenders in the backfield and throws a strike.
Had two big third down catches a week ago in the win for Gainesville in Alabama. Josh Dillett kind of calls him the Swiss Army knife, the receiver that does a little bit of everything. Now Hughley going to dump off to Ware again. Ware's got a block, and he's going to score. And just like that, Gainesville strikes to begin the second half. Jeremiah Ware finds the end zone.
And that was easy pickings for Gainesville to open this second half.
I mean, that was well designed, seemingly right out of the locker room. Our scoring recap brought to you by Breda Pest Management.
He had another gear to him, too, when he got an open field.
Certainly seemed that way, the Georgia Southern commit. 6'1", 190-pound senior. The kick, PAT by Johnson is going to be good. And, of course, Breda Pest Management bringing our score ticker to us all night long here. And they're also reminding you they want to be there for you in your time of need, because no matter the season, no matter your pest issue, Breda Pest Management is going to protect your home inside and out from bugs, termites, wildlife, and mosquitoes. Breda is a proud sponsor of Georgia High School athletics. So you can get started with them today by checking them out online. It's BredaPest.com. That's BREDA. BredaPest.com for more on that. And quite a statement by Gainesville to begin the second half.
Tell you what, man, they are very good in space. I have been impressed with this sophomore quarterback. He looks comfortable. He looks in control. He's got a little more juice to his arm than I thought.
And in a day and age in which, a lot of teams have transfer quarterbacks, Hughley was a guy that's been in the program for both of his years in high school.
Yep.
Baxter Wright, the previous starter, he's now at Murray State. He's an athlete up at Murray State. We'll see if he ends up playing the quarterback spot. But he's at Murray State, and so Hughley's kind of been watching him and been injured a little bit. Didn't play a ton of JV, I don't think, last year, but just got a chance to sort of observe and absorb the offense.
Yep. And if you play for Josh Niblett, quarterback, you're going to spend a lot of time in the offseason in the film room. I guarantee that.
A lot of folks know this. Niblett himself was a former quarterback.
What did he play, fullback at Alabama?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So Juan Gaston is back in the game for Westlake. If you're just joining us, he dealt with a little bit of appeared to be an ankle injury in the first half. Seems to be back here. You've also got empty backfield now for Westlake. Sean Smith hit as he throws. He had Travis Smith open. Smith almost still caught it. I believe that ball was deflected because it was well underthrown.
Yep. Believe so.
Smith still got way behind the defense again.
He is so quick, man. I believe his arm gets hit. Yeah, his arm got hit. Yep. Steele almost tracked it.
So second down now. Smith going to throw, third catch of the game for Lallis. Across the 20 up to the 22. Still going to make it third and about 8, though.
Third down.
So if you're interested, it's going to be Travis Smith on the left side of the formation.
They're going to flip-flop, go 3-by-1 to the top, which is going to leave 11 here at the bottom, 101, and let's see if they like this combination.
That's the junior Dion Thomas. They're going to look that way, try to set up a wide receiver screen to Thomas, and Gainesville is just all over it.
Good job there by 97.
It's Brandon Bailey.
He reads the eyes. Look, he realizes he got released too quick. Look at him just sit there and tip the ball, almost like the North Gwinnett. Remember, he picked off the Braxton Kyle, picked off the screen for an interception. And that's great recognition by a young defensive lineman in high school. He realizes that release was way too easy. Something's happening. He drops back in coverage, gets his hands up, and tips that ball, which is going to be a screen to Thomas.
So Smith will stay in and punt. Philip Williams, who had a nice catch a little earlier, is going to be back to receive the kick. He had 50-yard punt return earlier this season for Gainesville. This one, though, will be fielded at the 38, and Williams wrapped up, but then he was able to shake free, get up to the 45, so pretty good field position for Gainesville. And if you're Westlake, you've got to be very, very careful here right now.
Yes, this can get as quick as that last possession was, as easy as that last possession was. You got to put it behind you, and you got to bow your neck and get a stop right here.
Don't forget, everybody, we're looking for those cheesiest fans of the game all week long, or I should say all game long, every week as a part of our action here this season. So make sure you snap a photo, say cheese, and use the hashtag Fiesta every day for a chance to be featured on television all season long as one of our cheesiest fans of the game, courtesy of our friends at Gordo's Cheese Dip. Westlake showing pressure. That's one of the things that Morris Mitchell likes to do. He likes to create those pressure opportunities in the hopes of forcing negative plays. That hasn't worked well tonight, but that's obviously the intention of this Westlake group. See a change defensively for Westlake there as well, as Leo Dorsey, sophomore safety, comes off the field. Gainesville kind of a bunch formation here. That's a pass caught by Smith. Be careful with him. He gets first down yardage down to about the 42, and you're sort of holding your breath. That's not even more than that.
I tell you, they stress you, man, out on the edge. You talk about Josh Nibbett loved his wide receivers. This is simple pitch and catch. Get north and south, good blocking there, run through an arm tackles, good blocking down the field. Brandon, it's 10 yards before anybody even shows.
Niblett called him an unbelievable athlete.
I believe that was Alex Payne. No, that's Big Four. That's the sophomore, Tyler Ford, 6'5", 320, walking off, and 2 more years of him.
You keep your eye on that there as well. Looked to have a cold compress being pressed against his head. Could have been just because of a hot night. So we'll watch that. It'd be interesting to see Ford and Gaston stand side by side.
I went to see Gadsden, and then I walked right down the field, and I was like, man, this kid, he's not quite as tall, but he's every ounce of 6'5" as a sophomore.
Yeah, Ford, they list him at 6'5", yep. Williams in the tight end goes in motion. Hughley going to dump it off here, and through the hands of Shane King. Ball hung in the air. Westlake thought they might have a chance to grab that, but it just falls harmlessly to the ground instead. Who's the closest here? Closest guy to that was Royal Walker, the sophomore linebacker. I don't know that he saw it, though. May not have had a chance to get it anyway.
Shane Queen's going to be texting me again tonight. North Cobb, another win, 21-13.
Yeah, you know, we both were sort of talking about this the other day in terms of McEachern in that region. But I'm glad to know that Shane King's sort of solely mad at you and not me.
Oh, no, he's not. He's letting me know. So I did him a solid. I'll tell you after this play.
That's right. That's the handoff going the way of Bird there. All right, what'd you do for Shane King?
Shane Queen.
Excuse me.
Text me. They won last
Shane
week.
King is a wide receiver for Gainesville.
It's all running together tonight, baby. Georgia Dome,
there's a lot
Mercedes
going
Dome,
on.
it's all there. We booked this week. We're going to go North Cobb. We're going to televise North Cobb at Walton.
Oh, that'll be a great time.
So
be a great time.
We got you on TV, Coach Queen. We got to have you commercial on if you're on TV. We love your acting in that IBEW commercial.
Yeah, probably the most accomplished actor of any of the Georgia high school football coaches.
Great job.
3rd and 7 now coming up. Speaking of Shane King, he's going to line up on the left side as a wide receiver. Hughley's got plenty of time, but it's incomplete, and that'll bring up 4th down. And Westlake going to declare victory about forcing that 4th down.
Needed that. If they don't go for it right here. They might go for it kind of in between territory. Josh Niblett up. 3 touchdowns. See what he does here. Don't trust his defense.
Going to run Chase Story, the nose man, back in here. So they want to have a big front just in case. I believe this is going to end up being our first chance to see Taz Smith punt. Niblett saying they really didn't have a punter, and then you just sort of realize Taz Smith can just do anything.
It's a Christmas miracle, isn't it? It's a Christmas miracle.
Can't just do anything, so why not let him do it? He gets a high one here. Fair catch called for. Inside the 10, and that's going to be kick catch interference. That's a pretty easy one right there.
Yep.
Return man Bryce Branch got bumped. Speaking of Walton, on top 24-21 over Roswell right now. All right, so it's kick catch interference. You're going to see it here on Branch. And so they're going to mark this off, and Westlake's going to get the football. So we're going to take a quick break. We'll come back and show you 3rd quarter action here. Westlake trying to get back in this one. We'll be right back.
Your home for live local high school football is Peachtree Sports Network. Don't miss the action every Friday night, only on PSN. Over the air on 17.2, on cable, and streaming on YouTube TV and Fubo. High school football on PSN is sponsored by Ingalls.
Coolray has always been a leader in our industry. The lifetime parts and labor warranty is pretty awesome. Basically, all the parts are covered, the labor and everything. When we say lifetime, we mean lifetime, and it's supported with money-back guarantees. And with that, you're getting all qualified technicians that are going to ensure that this job is done perfectly and operates perfectly throughout the life of the unit.
Learn more about our Coolray lifetime parts and labor warranty at Coolray.com. Coolray and Carrier. Turn to the experts.
It's hot at Matthews Kia of Cartersville, so we are having a hot sales event. We have great selections of 2024 and 2025 new vehicles. Lease the 2025 Kia Carnival LX $429 for 24 months. The 2024 Kia Sportage LX $289 for 24 months. Or the 2024 Kia Telluride S just $379 for 24 months. Hurry, because prices are in your favor right now. Don't forget, Matthews Kia of Cartersville is home to the lifetime warranty. Come see us today. All roads lead to Matthews Kia of Cartersville.
This is the home of the GOATs. Friday Night Lights. And home of the Ballers. This is home of the Gamers. Peachtree Sports Network is the home of the Hustlers. And home of the Speed Junkies. The Peach State plays here. Atlanta's home of live local sports is Peachtree Sports Network.
Here's to the legends of the game who paved the way for the stars of today.
Get out of his way!
Origin Sports showcases sports history that is as relevant today as it was in the past. Origin Sports, run it back.
Brandon Adams, Rusty Manziel, Kaylee Manziel in our host position. 3rd quarter action here. Drive for the GHSA state title from Westlake. Lines back on offense. Here's Sean Smith, the quarterback, lowering his shoulder and carrying the football. Nice first down carry for him.
Got a flag down. I believe they're going to get a holding out on the edge. You hear Gainesville coaches beside us. They were pretty vocal on that play. And see somebody turn the corner, usually what you kind of get.
And they're going to get it indeed.
They were pretty emphatic that Someone was getting held out on the edge. Tell you what, the strong finish at the end by the quarterback. He didn't go out of bounds.
He did not have any hesitation about lowering his shoulder. I like what Morris Mitchell, the Westlake coach, said about Smith. Says, listen, he's like a gym rat, very receptive to coaching. You know, had a good game week one in an otherwise, not great night for Westgate and lost to Langston Hughes. Said he probably didn't play his best game last week in the win against Douglas, but I think they like what he's doing here. And you see Tamir Bransford kind of getting involved. You almost wonder if Bransford, to the extent that Westlake trailing by 3 scores can still run it, you almost wonder if Bransford maybe gets a little bit more active here in the second half. That's a Georgia State commit. By the way, big one for tomorrow for Dell McGee.
I was down, went to, did a show this week with Dell McGee, and
yeah, that's cool.
He's excited, man. He's excited, and there was a lot of buzz around the campus. They look good in person, so we'll see how they do against Georgia Tech. But on the hoof, Georgia State, man, they look really good. 43 transfers.
3 receivers right side. That's the pass complete to Tom. Actually, it's incomplete.
That's a hard throw.
Thomas had it. Yeah, tough throw to make. And ball skipped before Thomas got it.
That is one of the longest possible throws you can make from past the hashes.
So we've seen now 2 straight possessions here in the second half. They are efforting through creativity to get the ball to Thomas.
Yes.
We've seen Travis Smith, the other receiver, just go make stuff happen. They've tried to be a little bit more creative and seemingly intentional in getting Thomas involved too.
If they take a shot here, they got 3 deep. Yeah, they're way
Gainesville
protecting against
way
this.
Back. They're going to look Travis Smith's way. Throw to him. He's wrapped up immediately. That's a great job by Elijah Watson, who was all over. Now there's some pushing and shoving after the play. Let's separate this. I think it's going to be cooler heads prevailing.
It's hard to get him down.
Watson's the cornerbacks played a good game for Gainesville.
Tell you what, man, the Westlake coach is hot. They had to physically get him off the field. He thought there was a little bit extra going on, and he thought he was trying to protect his player. I mean, they literally had to go grab him. He felt like that was a little too much for them on Travis Smith.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing, obviously, in the position of both teams. I mean, clearly you are going to protect your star player in Smith. Of course you are. And if you're Gainesville, you got to know where he is at all times, which means you're going to fly to him in a reception situation.
And he's a physical kid. I mean, he's going to try to run after.
That's exactly right,
I mean, like it takes some guys to bring him down.
Yeah,
so
he's no shrinking violence
both
situations
sides of it.
like this, yeah.
Gainesville's running to the ball, and Westlake head coach is protecting his player.
Williams is going to be back to receive the punt. Get a nice catch earlier today.
Good job getting that off.
Going to call fair catch here this time. He called fair catch. He can't do that.
Man. I don't know what. Was just thinking, did I get called or what? see what had happened was.
Let me also take a moment to remind you that the Score Atlanta softball rankings can be seen every Tuesday on ScoreATL.com. Be sure to tune in to the Georgia High School Sports Daily. Brand new show airing live out of the Score Atlanta television studios every weekday at noon on the Peachtree Sports Network for a breakdown on each classification and the teams rising and falling in the rankings. All episodes, of course, are also all available digitally on Atlanta News First, Zeem, and the NFHS Network. All right, so Gainesville football again. You see Hughley there. Back him up after the ball going to sit at the 32. Taz Smith goes in motion. Westlake eyes follow him. Hughley throwing that way, wrapped up immediately, but still a gain of about 9. Pretty good job from preventing that from becoming more. Looked like Delapierre had the coverage on him. Wrapped him up to keep that from being a longer game, but it's still like 9 for Smith, and everything he touches goes for at least that. Coming up on the halfway mark of our third quarter, Westlake shows pressure. Hughley pulls it back out now,
Great
throws
play.
it. Beautiful, well-designed. Shane King on the reception to the Lion 49, and Hughley just read that well, pulled it right back out, and executes perfectly, moving the chains to King.
You see that play 2 or 3 times on Saturdays. You see it on Sundays. You see him coming across the motion. They line him up onto the right. He comes underneath as an H-back, and you just hit him on the run, little flat route.
Hughley also carried it out well, too. Hand off to Bird. Bird's fighting. Down about the 41. He get 9 on that carry. Wow. I'm going to say he actually went down kind of at the 42.5, so it'll be second and about 2 coming up. Gainesville leading 28-7. Where is the receiver on the left side of the formation? They're going to say Gainesville's sideline warning against Gainesville. Hard to tell exactly what that was because it certainly doesn't look like the Gainesville players are very close.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say Niblett might have been in the
You may be right about that.
I'm gonna bet a little bit Coach Niblett might have got some of that warning.
You may be right about that. Maybe
those head coaches tend to drift a little bit.
Looking at a second down now. Hughley going to look left side, fight for the football. They're going to say too much hand. Kennedy Bailey was running with him step for step, but honesty compels me to admit also probably had a handful of jersey too.
Yeah, the Westlake people are going to complain. They're going to say the ball was not catchable. But yeah, he had way too much jersey.
West Forsyth getting one over Parkview tonight. And a good start to the year for Collins Hill, getting a big win over Cedar Grove, who will play anybody, including a 6A team tonight like that.
Oh, yeah. You're talking about Cedar Grove's been on the road for 3 years. They do homecoming and senior night, and that's it.
And how about this big win coming from Central Georgia? Houston County gets the win over defending 4A state champion Perry.
Boy, don't you know that was a ball game. Don't you know that was a crowd. Wow.
Then shortly down the road, Warner Robins on top of Northside. 34-12 the final there. Central Georgia's as deep as it's ever been. Pressure coming on Hughley.
Same play.
It was intended for Ware again.
Yeah.
You know, tight coverage by Westlake. Bailey that time much cleaner with his coverage. Dorsey, the safety, was also over there too. So we've seen a lot of almost double teams from Gainesville on Travis Smith. That time he had a couple of guys bracketing Jeremiah Ware.
Yeah, they tried to go out and up that time, and I'll be honest with you, he got a little bit of jersey, but can't call every single play. But it was close. They're going to bring Travis Smith in. Travis Smith is on the edge, outside linebacker.
Here's a throw. That's Ware on the other side. Flag comes in again. He's wrapped up right away.
Interesting. They bring Travis Smith in. He's playing outside linebacker. Shows you the physicality he's got.
He's also bigger in person than I expected him to be.
He's a big dude now. He is legit 6'3". Good kid. We had him at the On 3 Elite deal in Nashville. He and his mom came up. And really get to spend some time with those kids there. I'll tell you this, Travis Smith, for 2 days, sit beside his mom, and never once did I see him pick his phone up. And he was writing notes. Every time we had a speaker, he was writing notes down and showed me a lot about him.
He's kind of an interesting story in that, you know, light really came on for him in a big way a year ago.
Last year.
Like a 70-yard slant touchdown against North Cobb, and ever since then he's sort of been on radars.
Yep.
But as a sophomore, I think people would say he was not really considered an elite recruit as a sophomore. You know what I'm saying? That just really kind of exploded on the scene.
Kept getting better.
And kept getting better. And in fact, you talk to Coach Mitchell, he'll say as a sophomore, he's actually pretty frustrated. That maybe wasn't getting the numbers, didn't have a lot of confidence. But somehow, some way, just sort of stuck with it, hard work, and it's obviously all paying off. Here's a throw towards the end zone. Dorsey had the coverage once again. It's been a lot of Jeremiah Ware on this drive for Alabama, too, at least in terms of the intended target.
I like that Gainesville helmet, but I much like the old school white one a lot better.
I do, with the big red stripe down the middle.
Coach Niblin, I said that.
Yeah, no, and we're a fan of the alternate uniforms, of course, too, but the classic white Gainesville helmet is hard to beat.
Ooh.
You're going to see Williamson come over to the left side again, become an inline blocker there, bunch formation, setting up a screen. That's going to be Bird.
Oh, we might have something on the edge there. 51 from Gainesville. Will Turner getting a little bit.
Yeah, Turner, one of just 2 returning starters for this Gainesville offensive line. Now, Tyler Ford, the freshman, did play a good bit last year for Gainesville. Also in the red zone now, brought to you by IBEW, Local 613. So it's 3rd down now. Smith is still in that linebacker spot. Handoff going to Bird. Bird down to around the, I think that's going to be 1st down yardage. They're going to give it to him.
Yeah,
it appears that he had it.
Yep.
Yeah, so Travis Smith, the Tennessee wide receiver commit, is going to stay in on defense.
You'd like to see that. He's in the box. I think Deion Thomas is in, too, at the top. Defensive back.
Gainesville is not in a hurry here. Can still get another 1st down. Williamson goes on the left side again. Now a little bit of orbit motion from Ware. Going to look Ware's way. He gets a block.
What a block.
And it's going to be cut back on the inside and finally gets the touchdown. I almost said it's going to be an easy touchdown, but a little bit of hesitation there. But ultimately Ware scores. Gainesville extends its lead.
I tell you what a block out on the edge by Taz Smith. Watch number 2 out here. His guy's got contained. You're not going to be able to see him until he comes in the picture, but you're going to see 2. Look at him engaged with his guy. It's too late once he gets off that block in space.
Our electrifying play of the half presented by England and Stubbs. So we've seen Smith punt once. We've seen him catch the ball a lot, and right there showing his ability to block, too.
You talking about a statement game tonight from Gainesville?
Big time. This is a long road trip.
Ooh.
This is a team, Westlake, with major college prospects, a higher classification, and Gainesville showing you they're going to be a major force in 5A, including with Milton in their region. Red Elephants looking good right now.
Dang, where you get this car?
You need to join the union.
The union?
Absolutely. You can get 10 of these.
Union construction workers earn the highest wages with the best benefits and the most protection in the construction industry. Find your career in construction. Go to GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com and start your future today.
What happens after you graduate? Will you go to the next level? Will people have your back in the heat of the battle? Will you still train like a champion in pursuit of greatness? You will when you become an IBEW electrician. Join our team. Visit IBEW613.org.
Basic combat training is a 10-week experience that will challenge you both physically and mentally. Each phase of your training will introduce you to new soldier skills, building and advancing them along the way. You and your fellow soldiers will work as a team to accomplish each mission, overcome each obstacle, and earn the right to wear the black beret of an Army National Guard soldier.
Great teams are committed.
focused on the details, and work hard to be their best. From practice to games, right down to their gear. Your field is a critical part of the game that allows your athletes to showcase their abilities. Sports Turf is committed to bringing your team innovative sports surfaces with unparalleled performance. You bring the vision, our team brings it to life.
I've used R.S. Andrews 15 years, purchased 2 heating and air systems, so I rely on their technicians for service. I call, they come, it's fixed. And I appreciate Andrews' commitment. He gives it his all. That's how R.S. Andrews makes me smile.
Yikey wawa! Running out of hot water is one way your water heater cries out for help. Call R.S. Andrews. Get a water heater rejuvenation. Your water heater gets added life, you get more hot water. Another way R.S. Andrews makes you smile today.
The GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com drive for the GHSA state title is sponsored by Gordo's, Fiesta Every Day, Northside Hospital, your source of strength, the Mechanical Trades Institute, the best-kept secret everyone should know about. Dog Nation. Visit DogNation.com for the latest Georgia team news and recruiting information. Georgia Match. Claim your spot at a Georgia college today by visiting gafutures.org. And by Georgia High School Sports Daily. Live at noon Monday through Friday on the Peachtree Sports Network and Atlanta News First app.
Welcome back, everybody. You see our score, 35-7. Red Elephants making a big statement here right now. About to kick things back off, and Westlake just hoping to make something happen. It was a good first half for Westlake, although it only resulted in 7 points. It has not been nearly as effective here in the third quarter, and I credit a lot of that for how the Red Elephants came out of the halftime locker room.
Yeah, they came back 2 quick strikes. Westlake 2 kind of 3 and outs, and this thing has got out of hand quick.
Still more than 14 minutes, so
yeah, I mean they got playmakers. They got guys that can quick and score explosive plays. Just got to have something pretty quick here.
We have seen a couple of very intentional attempts to get junior wide receiver Deion Thomas involved, but we have not gotten a reception for Travis Smith here in the second half thus far.
Yeah. Had that ball tipped, remember?
That's right. He was
It was intended. He's got tipped. He was way behind.
Great call back. He was absolutely behind the defense, and, Julius Columbus, I believe, had the pass pressure and just was able to tip the football. Here's a throw. They're going to try to go Travis Smith's way. He's in double coverage again. Trent Jones was kind of going step with step. Smith had a chance to catch it, but another pretty good job by this Gainesville secondary. Gainesville rotates so much their secondary. I think they're just keeping enough fresh bodies in there. They're not getting fatigued from having to run these routes over now.
Yep.
2nd 10. Nice throw and catch and a first down. Brandon Lallis has quietly had a pretty good game on plays like that. That's his 4th catch of the night.
He looks quick, too. He took a shot on the elbow.
Yeah, he's a little worse for the wear there.
It's been a physical game. It's been a fast, a lot of athletes on the field. The pace of the game, speed on the field just ramps up at this type of level in high school football in Georgia.
A little bit different look here from Westlake. They're going to put Thomas and Smith on the same side. Trips on the right side of the formation. Creates an opportunity to run the ball, but it's maybe only a couple, and a tackle by Brandon Bailey. Coming up on 90 seconds in the third quarter. Benedictine up on Burke County. That's a final. Breda Pest Management score ticker.
Sounds like Sequoia upset Kell tonight.
How about that? Of course, Bobby May, former Westlake head coach, now with the Longhorns. Kell last week completely dominant over Alpharetta. So week to week in Georgia high school football, you just don't know.
Ah, man, so many good teams this year.
Gainesville showing pressure. Smith got Travis Smith down there.
He had him.
And I think Smith may perhaps think he should have caught that when Elijah Watson had the coverage again.
Comes good play at the end there just to get your hand through the finish through the play. They teach you as a defensive back to finish through the play.
Yeah, I mean,
Elijah Watson, man.
He may be giving 5 inches to Travis Smith in terms of the height differential, but I think Elijah Watson, I'm guessing the film study is going to probably reward him with a very good game. Under a minute now in the third quarter. 4 receivers. Georgia fans will recognize number 73, Juan Gaston, the left tackle.
They did it again, man.
Gaston was not happy with his teammates that time.
Yeah, they have just. It's easier said than done, Brandon.
I totally agree.
When that thing is done right, we see Alabama, we see Tennessee, we see Arkansas, all these teams that practice at a high level, Division I teams. Georgia gets them on this as well.
Totally agree with that.
It's hard to stay.
Smith cranking on throw and trying Deion Thomas's way. Judah Knight had the coverage. First time we've called Knight's name tonight, but that's a guy who's had a nice start to the season in coverage for Gainesville, a part of that very deep secondary. A guy that's got interceptions, and I think a guy they feel like they can build on. Not the biggest guy, just 5'11", 150 pounds, but a kind of a building block piece for them in their secondary.
Yeah, I've known him for a while since he was a freshman. Yep. Mm-hmm.
So Smith will come in and punt. Gainesville going to bring a different return man into the game.
See if he gets a bounce come off his foot. Tell you, we have seen good special teams play tonight from both sides, but that wasn't the best kick.
Shedrick Diggs, who was in to be the punt return man, and he didn't have much of a chance on that because it was just a little too short. So 40 seconds left in the third quarter, a part of a very busy football weekend in Atlanta tomorrow with obviously Georgia and Clemson. We mentioned earlier Georgia State gets a chance at a Power 4 opponent with Georgia Tech.
I actually talked to some recruits that are going to the Georgia-Clemson game, grab some dinner, and then they're going to Georgia Tech.
Oh, that's fun.
It's not bad.
That's
not
fun.
a bad Saturday, huh?
How about Hughley? You saw the graphic a moment ago. 5 touchdown passes for him here today. Williams went in motion again. Last time he did that, they hit him on a big strike, but instead they're content to give it to Carmelo Bird. Clock now ticking under 30. It's also one of those really fun Labor Day weekend always provides this, where you have the game on Sunday in Las Vegas between LSU and USC.
Yes.
Monday night, we'll get a chance to see how Florida State wants to bounce back at home against Boston College after their Week 0 loss in Ireland to Georgia Tech. So it's a busy weekend.
Non-Georgia Clemson game, what other game just got your attention?
I think it's obviously the same answer a lot of folks would give. Florida and Miami is interesting because if Florida doesn't get this one, you wonder who do they beat, just to be completely frank.
Yep.
And obviously I think that Texas A&M Notre Dame is fascinating too because a lot of people just simply are maybe overlooking Texas A&M, but they find themselves as a small favorite against Notre Dame on Saturday. So fun action tomorrow, but we got 12 more minutes here. We'll show you fourth quarter time right after this.
This is the home of the GOATs. Friday Night Lights. And home of the Ballers. This is home of the Gamers. Peachtree Sports Network is the home of the Hustlers. And home of the Speed Junkies. The Peach State plays here. Atlanta's home of live local sports is Peachtree Sports Network.
I'm Judge Hatchett, and I am here to tell you that when tragedy strikes, you need our experienced law firm.
Hiring the wrong attorney can get you a lower settlement than you deserve, and that's a fact.
That's why you need the Lions of Stuart Miller Simmons trial attorneys on your case.
If you or a loved one has suffered a personal injury or wrongful death,
call us at 404 Law Firm or smstrial.com.
Any slow sipper knows you'll enjoy your drink from McDonald's longer than anyone else.
Now get any size soft drink or Southern style sweet tea for just $1, only in the McDonald's app. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
The passion, the hustle, the grit. It all goes down on Peachtree TV, where the Atlanta Dream becomes the LA Sparks' worst nightmare. Dream Sparks. Sunday at 7 on Peachtree TV.
You see Gainesville well on top with the football. Fourth quarter set to begin. And, boy, I tell you what, in a region that's going to be incredibly deep this year that features the reigning 7A state champs now down in 5A. Roswell, a team that's a perennial power. Lanier, a team that was in the second round of the playoffs a year ago, including Gainesville. The Red Elephants wanting to let you know right now they expect to be taken as seriously as anyone, perhaps Milton included.
Yeah, I'm telling you. That'll be one of those games nobody wants to talk about, but everybody's got it circled. And I'm glad we got it on later in the year on Score Atlanta.
Yeah, I told you this earlier. I'm just thrilled with the schedule we've been able to put together for our drive for the GHSA state title. So thankful to have our friends at GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com back a part of that with us again this year. And what a collection of games we've already broadcast and that we plan on broadcasting the rest of the way. Hughley, already 5 passing touchdowns tonight, gets his tight end involved, Landon Williamson. And Williamson takes him for a ride down to the 40, and now everything is working for Gainesville.
I tell you, this quarterback looks in control. He looks comfortable. He looks like a senior running this thing right now.
Yeah, he absolutely does. Quite comfortable indeed. Checking over the sideline with his coach, Josh Niblett. See Niblett there. Got the joggers on tonight.
Joggers, baby. Shoe game's always strong.
Westlake tries to do the shift that time. Bird.
Good job up front that time.
Yeah, I believe he got stopped short.
2nd and 1, and they tried to do the stem, but good job Gainesville staying in place. No easy penalty. But regardless, Westlake's able to stuff that one up front and cause it now to be 3rd and 1.
Yeah, and it's really a short one. It's less than a yard, but we'll call it 1. Gainesville will not be in a hurry, content to be deliberate. Debuting a brand new stadium, or at least a heavily renovated stadium on September 20th, and boy, wouldn't they love to be 4-0, but on this particular play, they're not going to get what they want. They're going to get stopped. Now, flag comes in late. Is that taunting? If it is, that's going to be
that's going to kill.
An unforced error because that's the big play that Westlake needed.
Cannot do that at this point in the game. Just a lot of frustration there. Getting chippy here a little bit. I want to give a quick shout out to IJ Rosenberg and Score Atlanta. That new studio they're going to unveil next week. Holy, you know what? What a studio, what a setup, and what a show that's going to debut next week on Score Atlanta. Daily high school football show. 1 hour. See that?
Yeah, absolutely. Interesting development here. I think we're assuming that it might be an extracurricular on Westlake. But instead, the penalty goes against Gainesville, and you back up the Red Elephants here. So, apologies for being quick to judge.
Yeah, no kidding. Yep.
The penalty's actually on Gainesville. So, we'll see here if Bryce Branch gets a chance to return one. Taz Smith, the outstanding wide receiver, will be the punter. Hey, they're coming after him. He gets it away. Branch going to field it over the shoulder to the 25-yard line. Corralled right away, and he's going the wrong direction. Great job on special teams there. Getting down the field, wrapping up Branch, giving him absolutely nothing. Westlake now goes back on offense here at the 19-yard line. Of course, Breda pass management been such a big part of our Georgia high school football coverage all season long, and they always will be. And they know your house inside and out with a customized treatment plan when it comes to stopping bugs and critters. That's what Breda Pest Management is all about. They do it right, protecting the inside and the outside of your home. It's the bugs inside your house, after all. Those are the ones that you really want gone. So always remember, Breda, they handle bugs and critters. Low snap, Smith gets it, throwing, trying to get Travis Smith involved here. Another example of a Gainesville defensive back, for the most part, running step to step. That was Judah Knight again. Now second down coming up, 9:32 to go in the game. You see Smith there. The Georgia commit, Juan Gaston, going down in his stance at the left tackle spot. Low snap again. Smith had to pick this one up off the ground. Brandon Bailey is then there to tackle Smith. We'll call that a tackle for a loss as opposed to a sack, I believe. Not much Smith could do, though, unfortunately. So 3rd and 14. Gainesville very safe defensively. They're going to put Trey Brown, a deep safety here, drop like 3 guys in pretty deep coverage. They're not going to let Travis Smith or Deion Thomas get anything on them.
No, they are straight.
Going to look Smith's way, though, and it's going to go out of bounds. Trent Jones, the closest defender to it, but they pretty much had a circle around Travis Smith that time, and they were not going to let him get behind them.
If you're Westlake, you're obviously going to see this score, but you're going to take that first half and you're going to show your team, how do you stay in a game like this? You got to get points out of a half like that, because Gainesville's going to score.
And, you know, Westlake, to me, feels like one of those teams, like a lot of teams in Georgia, they play tough non-region schedule.
Every year.
They get much more
better.
Improved as you roll into it. And this is a team that's going to face Carrollton later on in a big region showdown.
Yes.
And something tells me the Westlake we see in that game may be a very different one than the one we've perhaps seen tonight.
Correct.
They were not happy after the game against Langston Hughes. They made it pretty clear. They did not feel like they played well week one. Had a little bit of an edge to them about that. It's a drop punt. And that's not kick-catch interference.
Westlake recovered.
Westlake got it. Rare miscue for Gainesville. We have not seen much of that from them.
And that ball was straight up. It just kept, it didn't quite get to him, so he had to keep running up, up, up. By the time he got there, it was too late.
Worth noting, it was a different punt returner in the game for Gainesville. It had been a lot tonight of Phillip Williams. That not Williams there, though. That was Shedrick Diggs, who had been in on the previous punt, too, and caught that with no problem. But that miscue there creates an opportunity for Westlake. So if you do the math here, down 4 scores with 8 minutes, you got to do everything really, really fast.
Everything's got to happen here.
But there's also something to be said for maybe winning the 4th quarter and taking some positive momentum into a spirited week in practice. There's still plenty to play for here. Smith looking right side now. That's Sean Smith, the quarterback, I say. That's a pass complete to Deion Thomas. And I think when they go back and look at the film, one of the things they'll talk about is their efforts to get Deion Thomas involved tonight just have not quite worked out.
Yeah, I believe they're going to have to listen, you got 2 guys. You got 10 and 11 that are different. You got a quarterback didn't play too bad.
Yeah.
Just got to capitalize. Red zone, had the ball on the 1, didn't punch it in.
That's right. Yeah, I think that Smith is good at what he needs to be, which is giving his receiver a chance to make a play.
Yeah. Miss a field goal, just little things like that start to add up on a team, but take nothing away from Gainesville. This is a team that can win the state championship.
Sean Smith's going to have Thomas wide open. He gets behind the defense. And he's going to go inside the 5-yard line. So that's the play to Thomas. They've been trying to get all night long, and they do. Touchdown saving tackle, going to make it 1st and goal. But finally, these Westlake fans here in the second half have a little something to root for.
Yeah, they love it there.
And even against a very good Gainesville secondary, Thomas and Smith are just the kind of receivers, they can just get behind. I'm talking about behind you.
And they just started taking shots.
In the red zone now, presented by IBEW, Local 613.
Second half, they just started taking shots.
That's right.
We got athletes. We'll see if they can make plays.
Handoff. And good job by Gainesville getting there and preventing Odini from getting anything, really.
Making every yard hard to get.
That's a good way to describe it, Rusty.
That's twice they've been tackled inside the 5. The first time they did not get in.
Odini stays in at running back. He's there on the right side. Instead, it's going to be a keep by Smith. Smith got down to about the 3, so he might have gotten like a yard, not much more.
Worth noting right now, Juan Gadsden is not in the game.
Hopefully that's just a precaution.
He's played some second half. Maybe just ankle tightened up on him, something like that. He did get taped.
Yeah, I don't see Gaston at the moment, but I'll keep my eye on it. We'll also keep our eye on Westlake here, trying to get into the end zone and narrow this gap here a little bit. So short break and then right back.
So when I got in the program, I was 18. At the time, I think the most appealing thing was, I could start out going to school and making money while I'm going to school. Not coming out in 4 or 5 years, $30,000, $40,000 in debt. That was the biggest attraction to this. I got in 3 days after graduation and hadn't looked back.
The Georgia Sheet Metal JATC provides apprentices with free training and careers that are stable and essential to the operation of the modern world. Both craft jobs and management positions offer lucrative pay with benefits as well as the stability of a growing industry. Skilled journeymen in the sheet metal industry are essential to our community now and in the future. Learn more about free technical training with no student debt at our website, careersinsheetmetal.com.
Planting season is here, and it's time to give your yard the perfect touch from the professionals at Personal Touch Lawn Care. Why Personal Touch? Courteous service, attention to detail, and a desire to give you the best lawn in your neighborhood.
They have the knowledge and skills to do anything that I would need.
Call now for a 25% discount on design and consultation services.
Big enough to serve you, small enough to know you.
Personal Touch Lawn Care, 770-908-1238, or online at ptlcatlanta.com.
Sweetheart, please don't forget to wear your seatbelt. I got it, Mom. It's a very nice day, living in the right space. Breathing your best, got me feeling some kind of
way. In the blink of an eye, so many tomorrows can disappear. Buckle up for your future. Every trip, every time. A message from the Governor's Office of Highway Safety.
All right, welcome back. Fourth quarter action here. Getting ready for a third down. Different quarterback in the game for Westlake. You thought for a moment that might be a wildcat snap to Odini. Instead, it's Cannon Robinson, a freshman in at quarterback.
I had a chance he came to one of my MVP camps this spring. I'm telling you now, tough spot for him to enter the game, but he can spin it.
Obviously, this is speculation. Is this a coach's decision for some experience?
I think maybe they just want to see if he can give him maybe a little bit of run threat in this red zone, trying to get
Wide receiver goes in motion. And he's going to go down. And how about that? Xavier Griffin in on the sack. Another big play from the USC commit.
Boy, they brought the house on the freshman in a tough spot to put him in there. Some confusion. That's the play before.
Yeah.
That play, they were trying to run a little rub route to Travis Smith, and he and the other Westlake wide receiver ran into each other. I'm not sure how much of the time into it. He had no time, but he also had no time for his receivers to clear any space because they ran into each other trying to get some separation. But tough spot to put a freshman in, but kudos again to Gainesville.
Griffin's an interesting story in that we talked about this a little earlier, kind of pre-high school, kind of played the running back spot. As a freshman here at Gainesville, they were trying to play him some at wide receiver, kept noticing the speed, and they said, how about a package of plays kind of coming off the edge, situational pass rush stuff?
Yeah.
And then that sort of blossoms into, well, maybe this guy's just a linebacker.
What do we got, man? I'll tell you. Now, kudos to USC, but that one's not over because I'm telling you, as a junior, everybody's recruiting him. He is a really, really good football player.
Yeah, I've been impressed. We talked about speed. I've been impressed with his speed tonight. New running back into the game for Gainesville. The Red Elephants fans starting to feel it a little bit there on the other side.
Lot of energy and buzz around Gainesville, around this football team and that community.
It's Trey Brown, I believe, in at the running back spot. New quarterback in there as well. So kind of wholesale changes for Gainesville here.
So that was Sean Smith, or is that Terrell Harris? Terrell Harris, DB on the tackle.
So Gainesville makes some changes, including London Francois in that series at quarterback. Not much happening there. That's going to give Westlake a chance to go back on offense. So we'll see if this is kind of like the backup show here on both sides sort of the rest of the way. And, I think we're going to see this some in college football here this year where with schedules being deeper than they've been before, I think both the winning side and the losing side, high snap there. Smith going to have to just try to do something here and be careful.
Oh, my goodness.
Be careful.
Oh, my
Be careful.
Goodness,
It's
no.
a high snap. This was not an intentional fake, but Smith's such an amazing athlete that's all he's got to do. They were trying to punt it. Smith is their punter. It's a high snap. He could not get it off, and he's gone for a touchdown. What an athlete.
I think that kind of sums up the night for Westlake.
What an athlete.
They rushed the punter. He breaks contain, and when he breaks contain right there, it's a wrap.
And you could just sort of see it coming.
It's just parted, didn't it? I mean,
you
there
could
was
just
no
sort of
one
see
there.
it coming. Scoring recap brought to you by Breda Pest Management.
It's hard. You never simulate a bad snap and covering on a punt. Statement game by Carrollton. Sounds like they pulled away from Rome 51-22, I believe. That was Rome's first game. It was 30-22 going into the fourth. But the fourth quarter sounds like it's been all Carrollton.
Blocked PAT, so kind of a adventure land with special teams right now for Gainesville. Obviously, Jaden Harmon's a name we know.
He's played well, I heard. I got a couple texts through the commercial that said that Jaden Harmon has really flashed tonight.
The linebacker now going to Tennessee. How well set up do you think Rome is in other spots here this year? Because, as you said, this is our first time tonight to see them because of the horrible bus accident. They had not played in our Corky Gale Dave Hunter Classic. Knowing this game against Carrollton, by the way, two very familiar opponents, this would be their first game. So what do you make about Rome the rest of the way?
They got it. I think Rome is one of those easy picks for like a quarterfinal and how they can finish the rest of the year. Got a new quarterback, Mason Tant, that started tonight. His first ever game. He starts against Carrollton. Not sure how well he played, but to open the season against a team like Carrollton, a team that's already been on ESPN. They've already been on all this. You know, they're a seasoned team. To see a game like that, I think Rome's going to be fine. I'll tell you this. Rome, now, has to be on paper, but Rome is heavy favorites in that region.
Yeah.
I tell you what now, I'll say this. They play Toombs County next week, and Toombs County is ranked #1 in AA. Toombs County is coming to Rome, Georgia next week.
Man, Barrett,
that is a sneaky matchup.
Interesting game there.
I had some coaches text me from South Georgia and basically said, "Hey man, this Toombs team is for real."
I tell you who's playing as hard as ever tonight. That's Bryce Branch. You know, he has not gotten the big return yet, but man, he gives it 100% on every single one of these.
How about Carrollton and Gainesville on 9-13?
Yeah, what a game that's going to be. What a game that's going to be.
How about Gainesville's schedule?
Yeah, they don't shy away from it.
They're not, and they play Buford, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Josh Nimblett will say, just like a lot of other coaches do, he said, my goal is not to go undefeated. My goal is to win state championship.
That's right.
And you don't have to be undefeated to be able to do that. Their motto this year, they call it Climb 24, with obviously the number 1 replacing the letter I.
Yeah.
He says, people say we have no chance because the region we're in, we think we have no choice. Another catch for Lallis. Coming up under 3 minutes to go in the game. Handoff. Kylan Hall, one of the Gainesville players, in on that stop. It's all Red Elephants. They're going to walk out of here a winner. Only thing yet to determine is by how much. New quarterback in for Westlake. Cannon Robinson, the freshman, came in near the goal line on the last possession, and he remains in. Going to look over here to Travis Smith, and Smith makes a beautiful catch. So Smith, one of the few starters, still in.
Yeah, he just makes it look easy, man. Just makes it look easy.
Gainesville going a little deeper into its rotation defensively. Kobe Haven had the coverage on that, a sophomore. Here's a handoff. And all of a sudden now we're getting a little deeper into the roster here. That's Keelan Anderson, the running back, a junior. Under 2 minutes. So I've said it all week. I think Georgia wins easily tomorrow.
I think they got potential. I'll say this. Georgia can blow Clemson out. I don't think Clemson can blow Georgia. It would take some breaks for them to win that game.
I mean, a stat that just means a lot to me is you're going to see Robinson dump it off here to Anderson. Look, since Georgia and Clemson last played in 2021, it's 5 games for Georgia against non-conference foes ranked at the time the game was played.
Yep.
Georgia's won those 5 games by an average of 37 points. They just... I mean, look, anything can happen, of course.
Yep.
This is just the sort of game that Georgia seems to show up for.
I think they're going to pressure Klubnik. They gave up 28 sacks last year. They're going to come after him and make them beat them on the edge. I'm not sure they have those type of wide receivers anymore.
So Keelan Anderson, the junior, comes in. Yeah, I think it's a pretty significant drop. You know, Clemson was a standard bearer. 2015 through 2020. It's 6 straight years.
I watched that 2020 Georgia Clemson LSU game the other day.
Yeah.
Oh my good. AJ Terrell.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, Burrow. It's about $800 million on the field at one time.
Clemson was a standard bearer back then. I don't think it's the same talent level.
Yeah.
You see the catch going Deion Thomas's way. Actually, that's not Deion Thomas. Let me correct myself there on that. first catch of the game there, going the way of Langston Smith, a sophomore. And, you talk to Morris Mitchell this week, he says, we've got sophomore receivers that could start other places.
Oh, no doubt.
Now, you want to say, hey, Coach, be careful.
Well, you got two. Yeah.
Be careful how you say that.
The portal opens in January.
Be careful how you say that.
Everybody.
A lot of coaches still watching right now are going to say, tell me more about these sophomores.
Yeah, the portal opens everywhere in January.
Gainesville going to bring pressure here.
Nice ball there. Ball gets out of his hand pretty good as a freshman.
Yeah, this is a pretty fun little competition now between guys who have not played a ton, younger guys here. And obviously, at programs like, Westlake and Gainesville, players like this hope to have bright futures. And so this is valuable Friday night experience. We are also likely coming up on what's going to end up being the final play of the game. When we're done, we'll get ready to go down to our post-game coverage here. Robin's going to roll right, pass caught, and then slam down, and that's going to end the game. So a dominant performance for Gainesville. They come on the road. They fight Atlanta traffic. They dodge some weather. And representing 5A, they get a win over 6A in their own stadium. 41-7 is the final. So a 5A classification that boasts 3 reigning state champs. That thinks pound for pound it's every bit as tough as the top classification in Georgia. Based on what you saw from Gainesville tonight, you'd be hard-pressed to disagree with that.
My good buddy Sean Callahan, who owns a Nebraska site for On 3 long time, he texted me this morning. He said, Rusty, what's the difference in 5A and Georgia and 6A? I said, 0.
Yeah.
There's 0 difference.
All right, and Kaylee Manziel is standing by with Josh Niblett. Kaylee, take it away.
Oh, and welcome back to the Tailgate Show, brought to you by GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com. I'm Kaylee Mansell. This is our winning coaches interview presented by the Gwinnett County Sheriff's Office. Of course, I'm joined by Josh Niblett. Look, an absolutely dominating performance tonight on the field. When you look back on it all, what's the thing you're most proud of?
Well, to God be the glory. I'm just proud of our kids, proud of our community showing up. But, we had a plan all week, told our kids believe in what we're doing. We knew how athletic they were, and they got some really good players, very talented. And if you're not careful, they're really, really explosive. So thought defensively we did a really good job earning the right to rush the passer on third down. Yeah. And then offensively we had a lot of explosive plays. We were really good on first down, and we're able to get in some tempo.
So in just a minute, we're going to talk to the MVP of the game, which is going to be your quarterback, Kareem Hewley. What has he brought to this offense?
Well, to be a young guy, he studies it every day. He's locked in. He wants to know more. He wants to learn more. He has the respect of our locker room. And he's the leader on our offense, and he's the general on our offense. And so I'm proud of him, but he's his own worst critic because he likes to try to get better. He's going to try to find ways next week to get better, and that's what I love about him.
Well, Coach, played a great game tonight. Can't wait to see you later in the season.
Hey, God bless you, and go Big Red.
All right, guys, we'll be right back with our MVP.
I'm Judge Hatchett, and I am here to tell you that when tragedy strikes, you need our experienced law firm.
Hiring the wrong attorney can get you a lower settlement than you deserve, and that's a fact.
That's why you need the Lions of Stewart Miller Simmons trial attorneys on your case.
If you or a loved one has suffered a personal injury or wrongful death,
call us at 404 Law Firm or smstrial.com.
Thank you for watching Georgia High School Heroes presented by Ingalls. I'm Chris Bainbridge, and we're counting down the best Georgia high school football players of all time. The sack man's coming. I'm your man Dent. If the quarterback's slow, he's gonna get bent. These are the lyrics to the Super Bowl Shuffle, as delivered by Hall of Famer and Super Bowl MVP Richard Dent. The Atlanta native attended Murphy High School, later renamed Alonzo A. Krim Open Campus High School, where he dominated in multiple sports. After his stellar prep career, Dent went on to attend Tennessee State University, and eventually to the Chicago Bears, where he would join the greatest defense of all time, the Super Bowl champion '85 Bears. He would retire as one of the all-time sack leaders in NFL history, with 137.5. Thank you for watching Georgia High School Heroes, presented by Ingalls.
Something monumental
covering all things football, is coming. Football's newest show breaks down all things NFL, from the plays to the players, from camp to kickoff, and everything in between, all year long. GMFB Overtime. It's football for everyone.
Weekdays at 10 a.m. starting September 2nd.
And welcome back to the Tailgate Show, brought to you by GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com. I'm Kelly Mansell with our Robbie Hunter MVP. It's quarterback Kareem Healy. I just talked to Coach Nibble, and he said one thing that you do really well is prep. What does your prep work throughout the week look like for games like this?
Well, I got to give a shout out to our scout team. Yeah. They give us a great look every week, and just watch film. We know what we want. I let Coach Nibble know what I like every week. And we just go with the game plan and go with the flow.
Hey, y'all had a dominating performance tonight. What does this win say about your team?
That we got a great defense.
Yeah.
That we got a great defense. I love those guys. I love the guys up front, and I love the coaches. They always put me in the best position possible.
All right, so here's what I'm going to do. I've got two things for you. So this is our Kroger game ball, and each week we have our MVP sign it. Now, you're the first person that's going to sign this ball, so I'm going to take your mic first.
Okay.
I'm going to hand you the Sharpie. Take that. I'm going to hand you the game ball. Put your signature on that. I'm going to have you give it back to me. You're the first one, though. It's a big deal. Nice little signature there. All right, I'm going to give you the mic back. We got this. All right, and then there's one more thing I've got to give you. Take that. Thank you very much. All right, this right here, it's heavy. Beware.
Okay.
This is the Robbie Hunter MVP Award presented by GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com, and it belongs to you.
Thank
well
you.
deserved. Take it home with you, put it up, and I'll see you again very soon, all right?
Yes,
all right, guys, we'll be right back after this with our Gatorade players of the game.
A journeyman with Local 85, when you turn out, you can be hitting six figures.
Okay, I have your back, you have my back. We're going to do this together. We're one for all for one.
College just wasn't for me. Let's look into actual career jobs that wouldn't take college, where I wouldn't, lose money and all that. Instead of losing a lot more money at the end, why not make money and make more money at the end?
Are you interested in becoming a deputy or a jailer? The Gwinnett County Sheriff's Office is hiring and looking for individuals passionate about protecting and serving their community. If you are 18 years or older, join our team by visiting GoGCSO.com for more information. Gwinnett County, together, we can make a difference.
Breda is better at keeping termites out.
Besides the fact that we're sending a licensed inspector to your home, we're also using state-of-the-art technology. So we put those two things together to give you the best possible termite inspection. Quite simply, Breda is better at keeping termites out. Only Breda protects your home with a complete liquid barrier from Termador. Your rate is locked in for 10 years, so if live termites are ever found, Breda will retreat. All for free.
Breda, Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
Deep shot for London. He makes the catch. The shot for Pierce, and who else but Jesse Bates? Moore fires through. Touchdown Atlanta. That goes nowhere. Find the pylon for the Atlanta touchdown. He's sacked for the end zone. And touchdown Atlanta. What a throw.
And welcome back to the Tailgate Show, brought to you by GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com. I am joined by the players of the game, our Gatorade Offensive Player of the Game, Taz Smith, and our Gatorade Defensive Player of the Game, Xavier Griffin. Taz, let's talk about that opening drive. I mean, I blinked and it happened. What's your connection like with Kareem Healy?
We really built that, connection off this past off season. And I transferred in probably about 10 to 14 weeks ago. And after that, he really, helped me set in and mesh on with my teammates. So,
Xavier, it looked like y'all had everything down to a T. I mean, this is not an easy offense to play, but y'all made it look easy. What was the defensive mindset going into tonight's game?
I think really just executing, doing our job, staying disciplined. We know they were going to take a lot of plays off, so, just trying to take advantage of that the most we could.
Well, guys, y'all played a wonderful game. I want to give you these gift cards presented by Racetrack. Y'all take that home with you along with your other Gatorade stuff. Guys, can't wait to see y'all down the line. I know y'all are going to have a great season.
Appreciate it.
All right, guys, these are our Gatorade players of the game, but stay right here. We're going to go over our scores from across the state when we get back.
A journeyman with Local 85, when you turn out, you can be hitting six figures.
Okay, I have your back, you have my back. We're going to do this together. We're one for all for one.
College just wasn't for me. Let's look into actual career jobs that wouldn't take college, where I wouldn't, lose money and all that. Instead of losing a lot more money at the end, why not make money and make more money at the end?
Are you interested in becoming a deputy or a jailer? The Gwinnett County Sheriff's Office is hiring and looking for individuals passionate about protecting and serving their community. If you are 18 years or older, join our team by visiting GHSA.com for more information. Gwinnett County, together, we can make a difference.
At Breda, we made the decision 20 years ago to invest in infrared cameras. The infrared gives us a unique advantage because we can pinpoint that termite damage. We then use our microwave technology, which allows us to localize our treatment so we can get rid of those termites quicker before that damage becomes extensive. And that saves you a lot of money as a homeowner.
Breda, Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
For a healthier future together, look to Northside Hospital.
Sweetheart, please don't forget to wear your seatbelt. I got it, Mom.
It's a really nice day, living in the right space. Breathing your grace, got me feeling some kind of way.
In the blink of an eye, so many tomorrows can disappear. Buckle up for your future, every trip, every time. A message from the Governor's Office of Highway Safety.
And welcome back to the Tailgate Show presented by GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com. I'm Kaylee Mansell with Rusty Mansell. Give me your thoughts on tonight's game.
What a statement game by Gainesville.
Yeah.
You just look at them and listen, you can't everyone say, hey, this is a threat to play game 15. Gainesville really impressive. I think when you look at Westlake, you kind of go look at those missed opportunities. You had 4 drives in the first half that came away with nothing, that you were inside the 20. You go back and look at those, and if you're going to beat a team like Gainesville, you have to capitalize on those. So very impressed by Gainesville. Mm-hmm. Westlake can take this tape and say, hey, we can get better. We could be in these games if we capitalize.
Yeah, 2 teams we're going to be hearing a lot about as the season goes on, but we also had other games going on in the state of Georgia tonight. Let's take a look at our scoreboard. All right, let's see what we got here. Oh, we had an overtime game tonight.
Your guy, Eric Godfrey, North Gwinnett goes on the road to Moultrie, Georgia, and wins 14-3. What a huge win for Eric Godfrey at North Gwinnett.
Yeah, Carrollton and Rome, one of those games that we're going to circle every single time, but Carrollton comes out with the win 44-22.
Yeah, Rome's first game of the year after going through the bus accident. Good showing. They'll get better as the year goes on.
Yeah, we got a lot of close games here. North Cobb over East Coweta 27-0. North Paulding over Harrison 26-23. But as you mentioned to me before we came on the air, Roswell getting a big win over Walton tonight, 35-24.
That game is over. Huge win for Roswell to go in and beat a team like Walton, a young football team. What a statement by Roswell to win that football game.
Absolutely. Moving on to our next set of scores, West Forsyth dominating Parkview 45-21. One of those teams we saw in the Corky Kell Dave Hunter Classic. Took a loss there, but seemed to be getting better and better every single week.
Yeah, one quick score I want to mention. Seconder High School, new school beating Mountain View. And you see in the school playing, I think your 3rd year of high school football, winning 45-10. Shout out Seconder, big win. Houston County continues to roll. They beat defending state champs Perry 31-17.
Looking at our next set of scores, Marist shutting out Woodward Academy 38-0. And then again, Cambridge and Creekview 39-0 as well. What sticks out?
Man, Cambridge, that's the offensive coordinator from Walton that comes over. He's now the head coach at Cambridge High School. And a lot of people thought Creekview was the favorite to win this game. You want to talk about an offensive output, 39-0. The Cambridge Bears, better watch, they're making some noise.
Our last page of scores here. All right, there you see it right there. Blessed Trinity over Prince Avenue, 23-21. Battle of the private schools right there. Are you shocked to see that score?
Not really. I thought it was a great matchup. I thought that was an even matchup on paper. Craig Sager sent me a text tonight and said, Rusty, that's the first time that Prince Avenue has lost back-to-back games since 2009.
Wow.
You were talking about a schedule, Prince Avenue, what they're playing right now. They got a tough road, but big win for Ed Dudley and Blessed Trinity to go on the road to Bogart and beat the two-time defending state champ 23-21.
And one of the teams we see right there is who we're going to see in our next week's game is going to be Calhoun, Cartersville. What can we expect?
Well, I talked I.J. Rosenberg into going to Calhoun. I'll tell you this. If you haven't been to a game in Calhoun, there's no track. You want to talk about an atmosphere, then you bring this Cartersville element into that. One of the biggest rivalries in Northwest Georgia. That place will be rocking next week. Cartersville at Calhoun. Everybody that has not been there, everybody at Score Atlanta is going to love that environment because that is a special, special place, and it will be standing room only next Friday night, guaranteed, at Calhoun.
And you can join us to watch it next week here on the Peachtree Sports Network at 8 o'clock. Again, that's Cartersville and Calhoun. Guys, I'm Kelly Mansell with Rusty Mansell, Brandon Adams, Roddy White, I.J. Rosenberg, and so many others. We wish you all good night. Enjoy some college football tomorrow. In case you didn't already know, Georgia and Clemson play at 12. You're not going to want to miss that either. We'll see you right back here next Friday at 8 o'clock.